Big O Show. This is the 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 Big O Show.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you all are doing well out there. Of course, driven by the man, Sean Stanley. Yes, sir. We are out here getting it done on a beautiful Monday, on a playoff Monday, which is nice. Gotta take it, man. You know what I mean? I get that the Dolphins are backing in. I get that the Dolphins did everything to kind of screw this whole thing up, but I'm happy that they're in, and we'll see what happens on Sunday. It seems like a daunting task, but you never know, right? Stranger things have happened. I don't think that Tua will play, but what if he does? You got, at least with Tua, I know you got a shot. And so that's kind of where we're sitting at right now, with all of this. I have no idea what's going to go on. Your guess is as good as mine. It was really cool to see him at the stadium celebrating with his teammates. And I would imagine that because he hasn't gotten to a certain stage in the concussion protocol, he wasn't allowed to be on the sideline yesterday. But man, it's a good day. It's a good day, especially for those of us that have hung in there with the crypto market, and we're watching it turn around now. And man, Gala Games has exploded, brother, like 60-something%. So I'm happy today. I'm really happy because a couple days ago I ended up taking advantage a little bit more of the dip in the crypto. I always do that, but with Gala specifically, I got more at 1.6 cents, and it's at 4.1 cent right now. So it's just one of those things that, as you buy it all the way down, and when it starts to go back up again, there is a absolute turnaround. And Gala Games has announced that they are going to be doing movies with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg, and the movies will be accessed through Gala Games and through the blockchain, and it's where we're going. I mean, I keep telling you guys this, but whatever, man. I don't care. I'll survive all this crap and everything, and I'll hang in there and I'll wait. And eventually we'll have our day. But those of us that have hung in there, you're smiling like crazy today, man, because your Gala bag has got to be doubling and tripling, and so it's a good day. It's a good day, no doubt about that. So we'll have some fun with that. We got the whole market, actually, both markets. Stock market's up, opening the green, and so is the crypto market all over the place. In fact, Bitcoin is over 17.5, is it? Well, 17.3 right now. 17.3. So it's actually busted through that 17. It's been stuck around 16.7 to 17. It's busted through. Ethereum, by the way, is up almost 9% in the week. It is up 5% in the last 24 hours. So it's pretty cool. Bitcoin's up 2%. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff, man. Cardano is up 11.5%. Polygon is up 7%. Solana is up 20%. And I think that Solana will still take another dip once SBF has to sell his 13% shares of Solana. He has 13% of Solana's shares. So he's going to have to sell those, whether he likes it or not, because he's got to pay for a lot of stuff. But Avalanche is up 5%. Cosmos up 10.7%. Chainlink up 6%. I mean, the market is booming, dude. ApeCoin, I'm a big ApeCoin guy. It's up 16%. It's crazy. Algorand up 5%. VeChain is up 9%. Hedera Hashgraph, which I'm also a part of, it's got 10% up. I mean, it is flowing, baby. Speaking of flowing, Flow from Dapper Labs is up 14.6%. It's another one. It's so crypto market is flying, baby. Flying. You just gotta hang in there. You just gotta stay strong. By the way, where's that wimpy guy of Polkadot? What is Polkadot up right now? Let me see. Just so he could tell his wife. Polkadot's up 6% in the last 24 hours. It's up 11.4%. Remember that guy that reached out? I forgot when it was. Was it Friday or something? That his wife is mad because he bought Polkadot and it's down. And I go to, did you sell? And he's like, no. And then you haven't lost anything. You got to wait, bro. You got to hang in there, you know? But anyway, so it's a good day, brothers and sisters out there, because the Dolphins are in the playoffs and the market is booming, baby. We've been waiting for this. You know what I'm saying? Dolphin Mark chiming in with a super chat already, says, rolling with Teddy 9 fingers on Sunday. Yeah, unfortunately, that's done. That's done. Yes, Brooklyn Rob, you are correct. Crypto and Acorn. That's right, baby. That's it. The Acorn is also rolling. So I was able to get myself in there too. So that's good. Dolphin Mark, man, I got to tell you something. Look, I'm glad that they're in the playoffs because, you want to look in the end, guys. Get off the negativity. All right. It's been enough of a tough season as it is, starting with our owners screwing the team and then all these damn injuries that they've had all year. And yesterday, my God, Brandon Shell, Mostert, who else got injured yesterday? Eichenberg got injured. I mean, Waddle got a little banged up on that horse collar. Like, dude, I'm sick and tired of this, brother. We've had a lot of negativity this year, and not that the team is negative, not that really, some of you are just living this world of negativity, but there's been a lot of, setbacks. Let's put it that way. But don't allow all those setbacks to become just one big negative cloud all over you. They're in the playoffs, dude. They finally fought and won that game, and that's what I want. I wanted McDaniel to win a game, dude, without a quarterback, without Tua. And he won one with his worst quarterback in Skyler against a really good defense, and they found the way to win. I don't care. I'm not asking for style points. I can't ask you for style points when you've got Skyler, barely reading defenses, Thompson. I can only ask for so much. And by the way, the defense did their job. Again, they limited them to 6 points for 4 freaking quarters. So I can only ask for what they can deliver. You know what I mean? They're a mediocre defense. Can you at least keep me in the game? Yeah, okay, great. You're a mediocre offense. Can you do enough just to win? Yeah, great. Fantastic. That's all I'm asking. You won the game. I needed you to win one of two. I didn't want what happened with Tannehill years back. Remember with Philbin that you went to the end of the season, and I believe it was Buffalo and the Jets, right? Those were the two teams, and they were bad teams. You were better than them actually, and you ended up losing both games, and you couldn't get in the playoffs. That's kind of the feeling that I had, and I said, no. This has got to be different. You got to find a way. I don't care. Manufacture a win. So that's a positive. And it's a positive that your starting quarterback missed 5 games and you still made the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's a positive that you had all these damn injuries and you still made the playoffs. Every one of your quarterbacks got injured. My God, you had a giraffe on the sidelines ready to come in and play the game. So, man, you got buddies that just want to be negative about, oh, whatever. Yeah, I get it, man. We don't have much of a chance this week. I get it. Buffalo's the better team. Miami is so injury riddled. If they were healthy, I'd like our chances. I'll tell you that. You give me an entire healthy roster, even without Byron Jones. Okay, give me the rest of the roster healthy without Byron Jones, and I like my chances to win that game. They should have won the last time. If it wasn't for Mike McDaniel, Tyreek Hill, Braylon Sanders, and Trent Sherfield, those guys effed up that game. Miami should have swept the Bills this year. That's what should have happened. They should have swept the Bills. They had the Bills where they wanted them. And they let them off the hook. Rest in peace, Dennis. So please, just, go take the negativity somewhere else, man. You know what I mean? I know what reality is. I know that with Skyler or Teddy, there was not much of a chance, but just enjoy it, man. They're in the playoffs. You get one more week of football more than most teams in the NFL. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that don't have an extra week of football. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that never even had a shot to get to the playoffs in week 18. Your team did. Your team made it. So enjoy it. Screw it, man. Whatever happens on Sunday, it is what it is. But, just to me, it's just one of those where, because, a buddy of mine is like, oh, well, screw it, man. I'm like, oh, dude, they made it. I get it. They're not a good team. It's been a bad year. They underachieved. We need it. We wanted more. But there's a reason why they underachieved. Unfortunately, there's an obvious reason why they underachieved. And they had a whole bunch of injuries, and they have a rookie head coach, that it took him 18 weeks to win a challenge. It took him 18 weeks to stay with the run. It took him 18 weeks to actually use Mike Gesicki. So these are things that, we have to live and learn. Just like Mike McDaniel has to live and learn. And, hey, I give him credit. At least he's using Gesicki. I give him credit. At least he's sticking more with the run. And I hope this week against Buffalo, if somehow or another you're able to run again, stay with it, man. Stay with it, because you were gouging them the last time. And it's very important this week if you're able to run the ball. I know it's going to be tough. I mean, containing Josh Allen alone is near impossible. So, it's just, but enjoy it at least. Whatever happens, and no big deal. Darren says, Big O, did you see Tua was kept inside the locker room during the game and was with the team after the big win? He looked healthy and happy. Could it be possible he will play now at Buffalo? I don't know, man. You'll find out now if he hits the practice field right away and he's able to do some light workouts today, maybe, or Wednesday. Then you can start to say, okay, they're going to be crazy enough to take the chance and put him out there. I'm not a big fan of playing him. I've said this many, many times over. I'm not a big fan of playing him. I'd rather him rest for the remainder of the offseason and get ready for next year. You know what I mean? Because I just don't think you have a Super Bowl team anyways right now. Your team is so injury riddled, you know, and what is Teron Armstead going to play or not? I mean, the guy's got 4 injuries. So I maybe they were hoping to get by in this game and then give him a week's rest, which gives him about 2 weeks rest, and then he can actually play in the playoff game. I almost get the feeling that that's what they're trying to do. You know, I almost get the feeling that Tua is going to play. Okay. If you ask me for my gut on it, I think he's going to play. Would I do it? No. But I think because the whole Armstead thing, and I may be reading it wrong, but you know, save him for Tua. Not waste him on these guys, you know what I mean? And beat him up. And by the way, he didn't even finish the game 2 weeks ago. So he didn't really play the whole game, didn't play this week. We'll have a whole week to rest. Maybe they think he can be healthy enough. Maybe they thought, hey, man, if we could get by the Jets, give you an extra week, gives you 2 weeks to rest, can you give us a game in Buffalo? And probably he said yes. You know, I'm fishing here, okay? Completely fishing here. But the fact that he's look, you know Tua's crazy ass wants to play. Okay? And in the NFL, they put you right back on the field, man. We'll see. We'll see. I have no idea. I personally would hold him out, but we'll see. Let's see. What else do we have? Ron G, I will state the obvious. McDaniel cannot do those 4th and short calls going for it. Bad field position. Bills move the ball. Can't make it easier for them. He already did that in the last game. So, yeah. McDaniel has a lot to learn in game day coaching. He's a really mediocre game day coach. He's one of the worst game day coaches I've seen in a Dolphin uniform. Let's be honest now. Let's just call it like we see it. He knows offense. He's beautiful at designing offenses. He knows the quarterback position. I get it. The offensive line has played the best it's played in several years now. They have moments where they can run the damn ball. And they've done a decent job of protecting overall, way better than the shit that Flo had to produce the last couple of years. But game day coaching, oh my God, he is terrible. He is terrible. You know, I don't know. Was he going for that 59-yard field goal? Well, one of my buddies thought he was making a maybe an attempt for a fake punt. And I'm still not happy with that either. You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever it was, I didn't like it. I didn't like the look of it. I didn't like you trying that. Just like at the beginning of the game, when you were there at the 50-yard line and you went for 4th down when you shouldn't have. You should have punted with that quarterback and that offense you're facing. You're supposed to punt and pin them, and you gave them a short field instead, and you lost field position for that entire quarter. And I thought that was terrible coaching. That's horrible coaching, man. Oh my God, that is horrible coaching. So that's where McDaniel has to learn. You know, I like him a lot, but wow, he needs to sharpen that for next year because he's already cost his team games. He will continue to cost him games next year if he does not do a better job of managing the game and knowing when to stay with the run. And look at Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki yesterday had 4 catches for 46 yards with a bad quarterback, with a terrible quarterback, with an awful quarterback in Skylar Thompson. Can you imagine what he can do with an excellent quarterback like Tua Tagovailoa? But Mike McDaniel's hard-headed. He refuses to play him. Bad coaching, terrible coaching, horrible coaching. He's got a lot to learn. And I will be looking at that next year. I will be very critical of that next year. He will never become a Super Bowl coach the way he coaches. Let's just get that straight. Okay? That's why Kyle Shanahan doesn't have a championship, because you're a terrible game day coach When you're up 25 on Tom Brady, you continue to run the ball, run the clock. Okay, keep your defense off the field. That's what you're supposed to do. And instead, you passed your way, made mistakes, and kept giving Tom Brady the ball back. So you can be a genius and understand offenses and know how to design them and give your team an advantage. But then what counters that is your terrible decisions as a head coach, which then offset what you did as a play designer. It's not good, man. It's not good. So he's got to work on that. I don't believe he was going for the field goal. He was forcing the Jets to use a timeout since they had the punt return team out. Could be. Could be. You just never know with him. That's the thing. I just don't know. I just don't know. Didn't he try a 54-yard field goal once instead of, was it punting or something? I forgot what it was, which game it was. So that's the thing. It's hard for me to trust somebody that makes constant bad decisions out on the field. That then, like, is he really going for this? Like, what? Yeah. Kevin Beal says, Big O, come the NFL draft, I'm going to be disturbed. We should have 2 first-round picks. Was it worth it, Ross? And was Chubb worth a first-rounder? Well, we're going to find out. Oh, no, actually, he's worse than Agba, Kevin. Agba got you 18 sacks the first 2 years. He wasn't living up to his contract this year, but last 2 years, he was a steal for the money you signed him, and he was productive. Chubb has not been productive. Chubb, so far, it's a terrible move. So far. I'll wait till next year to really pass complete judgment on Chubb, but so far it's bad. The other one, that's Stephen Ross, and Stephen Ross is consistent. You have to admit that. You have to admit he is consistent. He'll spend money, and he's consistent. He'll do stupid things. He's consistent. Focus on him ministry. No way Teddy or Skyler beats the Bills. Yep, you're right. You're right. Your only chance is if Tua plays. Let's be honest. But hey, man, you're in. So that's cool. As I said yesterday on the postgame show, in a small way, the way you can look at it is with all the crap that went on this year, you still made the playoffs. That's pretty cool. That part is pretty cool. So take at least a little bit of enjoyment out of that. Leon says the Dolphins team, as originally designed for this season, was a team that could have made the Super Bowl, but this team is out of gas and has 3 spare tires. Depth will be important next year. Well, they had depth. It's just you got nailed with so many injuries. You went through your depth also. They had depth. It's just, my God, Brandon Shell goes down. How many more tackles? I think the coach said it yesterday. They've played like 7 tackles. 7 tackles? Brother, that's 3.5 on each side of depth. I don't know what more you want. It's tough, man. It really is tough. I give them credit for that sense because they really had to overcome, a lot of adversity. Emilio says, Big O just came over from TD. That guy is delusional to a hater. I don't know, bro. I don't know who this TD guy is that you guys mentioned to me once in a while. Guys, I'm doing this show. I don't care about other shows. I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? It's like, so I don't give a rat's ass about any of that stuff. But, whatever, man. It's all good. But listen, whatever he's doing, if he's doing the hating stuff and all, hey, it works, man. I'm sure it works. People love that shit, bro. People love negativity and they love to do all that and ride it. It's, sensationalism at its finest. So ride it and enjoy it, man. It's the way it works sometimes. Gary R. McDaniel didn't seem to understand yesterday that against the Jets, it was going to be a field position game and you don't go for it on 4th and 5 from the 45. I know. That's why he's a terrible game day coach. That's all. And he's young, and hopefully he'll fix it. By the way, just back to that TD guy, I still don't understand any of you out there. If you don't like somebody, why do you listen or download it or watch it? It's like some of you that you do that with Cowturd and Baseless and those kind of dudes. And then you tell me, oh, this idiot, and so then why are you watching or listening to those idiots? That's the part I don't understand about some of you out there. Is it like some kind of a magnet or something that pulls you that you want to hear from somebody you dislike? I don't understand that part. That's the part that I can't, comprehend. Topher, obviously a very mediocre fan. Did Eric Fisher play yesterday? Obviously very mediocre. Doesn't keep up really with the team. Too extreme. Big O, he can't stick with the run game if Teddy or Skylar is playing. The game calling will be too predictable. The Bills will shut them down, and this game will be over before it even started. Yes, you are correct that you become, obvious. But it's probably the only way you're going to be able to run, control the ball and control the clock. So you're going to have to try to run the ball. And even if they know you're coming, you got to keep them off balance and keep doing it. Why? Those quarterbacks aren't going to beat you. They can facilitate here or there, but my God, he couldn't get Tyreek and Waddle involved. Skylar he's a jag, dude. He's a total jag. Total jag. Okay? Total jag. There's nothing there at all. Nothing there at all. He's a jag. His ceiling might be a backup. Maybe. He has no potential to be a starter at all. He can't read, bro. He can't read. He can't react quickly. He has no anticipatory skills. His accuracy is mediocre. He's not the guy. I would when I hit the Senior Bowl at the end of the month, and I start, because I haven't worked anything on the draft at all. I haven't even been thinking about the draft at all. But after next week, I can start to plan and think about the draft, and then start to gather information to see whatever picks they do have and what they could be doing. So I'll start going to the Senior Bowl and then the Combine the following month. So we will have more information for you when it comes to the draft, and we'll figure out, is there a young quarterback out there, that they could draft, that they could bring in to develop under Tua and take over Skylar's spot. Because I think it's going to be very important to do that, to go find another quarterback. Unfortunately, because of the injury history of Tua, you need to plan. As I've said the line many times, right? You need to have a better plan B than Teddy B. And so you got to find some kind of young guy that you can develop behind Tua. So he either becomes your safety net or he becomes a trade piece down the line because Tua continued to stay healthy, figured things out, and kind of moved on. So, oh man. By the way, when we look at what's it called, having an edge, right? And we like to do something on the show called Who's Got the Edge? Okay. And yesterday in the Miami Dolphins game, I want to talk about a couple guys that I want to commend them because they had the edge. Kick it.
Who's last night's MVP? For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
All right, our Cutter's Edge MVP of the night. Let me go to the running backs because Raheem Mostert ran with a purpose yesterday, and I know he injured his thumb. I don't know how bad it is. I hope it's something that doesn't get in the way. It's kind of hard to handle the football thumb. With Buffalo, but he ran 11 times for 71 yards. Breaking tackles, running hard. Raheem Mostert is one of those guys that, man, he grows on you, right? As the year has gone on, been very impressed with him. And then Jeff Wilson Jr., the midseason acquisition, the really good midseason acquisition, unfortunately. This one pays off. The Bradley Chubb one did not pay off whatsoever, but the Jeff Wilson one has paid off. 16 rushes, 72 yards yesterday. I want to commend Mike McDaniel for sticking with the run. That is 27 rushes between those two guys. Okay, and even Salvon Ahmed came in and helped out, which, by the way, you might need Salvon Ahmed next week, who has kudos to him. Let me throw him in there in our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night. He also was ready, came in and was productive too. So the running game for the Miami Dolphins, led by Mostert and Wilson Jr., I got to give them our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night. Go to cuttersedgepro.com for all of your landscaping solutions, home or business, in South Florida.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
All right. Michael Cody says, I'm a 33-year-old from Buffalo. I was at the game yesterday, and even though my entire life I haven't had a lot to cheer about, at least I got an amazing experience witnessing a playoff berth. Fins up. There you go. There you go, man. I mean, you might as well enjoy it. What the hell? You know? Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And you know we love our Bitcoin donations. Now we got a little buzz in the Bitcoin market finally. Frankie Fresco says, and thank you for the love in the super chat, a lot of fans were crying at the game, Big O. Yeah, I mean, remember I told you, I've talked about this several times. Young fans, man. There's a lot of young fans that they don't have a lot of success in their lives when it comes to their favorite team. I hope they've had more success in their personal lives because their favorite football team has had very few successes, and just making the playoffs, that's, Frankie, you bring up a very interesting thing. Not only is it something that we should at least, embrace a little bit. You made the playoffs. Okay, great. I know you're not going to make much of an impact. I get all that, but you made it. And you forget about that stuff that, us older fans, like for me, you made it, and it's great that you make it, but obviously it's not as impressive as some of the experiences I've had in the past with the Dolphins decades ago, when they would make it and you felt better about them and they could go deeper and those kind of things. But you got to also you got to include the emotion of the younger generation that doesn't enjoy a lot of success. And so these kind of moments are precious for younger fans because they just don't get a lot of, playoff trips. So yeah, that's actually a pretty cool point on your part, Frankie. Let's see, what do we have here? Luke K, thank you for the love on the super chat. Appreciate you, Luke K. Pachanga says, unfortunately, Big O, some people miserable loofs. Yeah, some people that's what they live off of. But hey, listen, you'll have the people that want to join you in that. That's the thing. So you'll live that way, and you'll have plenty of people that will want to live with you in that misery. So that's a good thing. NT Chewy says, I'm actually so excited for the offseason now. With all the moves we can make in a draft class, a week ago I was dreading it. Well, I mean, what are we going to do? Give up on our team? No, man. You You recharge, you reload, and you try to get ready for a new season. Let's just hope that they can be competitive. I mean, the Patriots were competitive with them for a while. I know it's tough to think about it with Teddy or Scott, especially God Skyler. Oh my God, Teddy also with the pinky, and as limited as he is, talent wise, with that pinky, if it's not really working like it should, I'm not a big fan of even using Teddy either in this game, to be quite honest. I listen. The sad part is without Tua, it's a different team, man, and everybody sees it. Maybe even Alan Poupart. Chris Doherty says 35-year-old from upstate New York, Big O, any given Sunday, and Josh Allen hasn't looked the same since he hurt his arm. Fins up. Yeah, he has his ups and downs. Yeah, but he kills Miami with running, man. And they don't have that middle linebacker that can really control them. That's the tough part. I'm happy we get another week of football, says Bromar. I agree. Carlos says, I'm grateful that we made the playoffs. I am much more hopeful for Tua's return when he's 100%. Is it better if he does not play this week? Well, I mean, look, man, I guess this is all, subjective. It's however you want to look at it. Okay? I'm not a big look, we're all torn. We all know deep down inside the Dolphins have no shot without Tua. We all know deep down inside, except for you Tua haters, that with Tua, you got a shot. And then it's whatever you think, okay? Or if you don't really care, because I think there's a portion of you guys and ladies out there that don't really give a shit about Tua. So you just want to play him and you just want to win at any cost. And if he gets another concussion, screw him. He's not good enough. We'll move on. It's kind of that attitude. And that's not who I am, okay? Because I've watched this for 20 years. They can't find another quarterback. And it's hard to find another quarterback. This guy can play, okay? There's only one issue with Tua, and he's got to learn how to get rid of the damn football. Outside of that, this kid's a baller. So I don't want to ruin the best thing that they've had here since Marino. Go look at his stats. He hasn't played in 5 games. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, if not the top in certain categories. Can you imagine if he played 5 more games? My God. Tua would be freaking amazing. So I'm not. I'd rather almost hold him out and suffer this week without him, and it sucks. But I'd rather save him and get him completely healthy for next year. That's what would make me happy, to be quite honest. But that's just me. What can I tell you? We need Tua long term, exactly. And that's, I think, you got better chance this way. What else do we have? And by the way, the one thing that could turn this entire season around is a win in Buffalo. That's the only thing that can make this season completely successful. Like, we're disappointed in the season overall because they should have had more wins. They should have locked up the playoffs weeks ago. We know all of that. But the fact they overcame all that and got into the playoffs is awesome. But if they beat Buffalo by some freaking miracle, everything changes. That's the screwed up part. After everything, his bad coaching, all the injuries, Tua's concussions, you beat Buffalo, and the season becomes an outright success. And let me tell you something. If you beat Buffalo, which we're just having fun with this, and this is, silly hypothetical. But if you beat Buffalo, now if Tua plays, beating Buffalo is not necessarily unrealistic. But if you beat Buffalo without Tua, I mean, that just, you're going to sit back going, damn, dude, we should have beat them 3 straight times this year because they should have won that second game. That's how crazy it all changes. Will it happen? I doubt it. With Teddy or Skylar, I just don't see it. But that's how this entire season changes. It goes from underachieving to, wow, holy crap. That's impressive. Jesse K says, Big O, my roommate is a Bills fan, and nothing would be better than beating them on national TV. Haha, it would be. It would be absolutely amazing. Buffalo playing for DeMar, they won't lose to Skylar. No. Oh, Vince, I'm not telling you that Skylar or Teddy can beat Buffalo. They can't. I'd love to. I'm not that guy that lies to myself. I just can't do that. But I will say it will change the whole damn season around. And I know for all of you out there, you're emotionally in a tough position because your team has fought all season long. You've waited for all of this. You've gone through the entire offseason. You've gone through all the mess, the craziness, the injuries, and all that. Then you get to this point and you don't have Tua. So there's a lot of frustration built up in everybody. I totally understand that. I really do. And so because of your frustrations, you want to do anything. You want to play Tua. And, you'll even risk it. You're not thinking of the big picture because you're thinking narrowly right now but some of you out there, like, one guy goes, no, you never know what happens. They could go all the way to the Super Bowl. And I go, no, they can't, bro. Come on, dude. They're so injured. Come on, man. If this team was healthy, hell yeah. God, if this team was healthy, I'm with you guys, man. Well, we were watching early on in the season, that team had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. This team, no. Big O will advocate for Tua to return in round 2 if they pull off the miracle. I told you I would not play him this season. Okay? That's what I would do. By the way, if you pull off the miracle, somebody became a pretty decent quarterback. The light went on with Skylar, and all of a sudden he started to look like Tom Brady. NorCal says, I have zero hope with Teddy, a tiny tad of hope with Skylar, but only if Mike sticks with the run game and it works. I have a good feeling if Tua plays, we can win, but run the ball. If Tua plays, you got a shot. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. I'm with you there. Do they throw in the Sky Cam with a week of prep? What's the Sky Cam? Are you talking about the pencil neck? No, you can't play that guy. He doesn't know the offense. He just got here. I don't think you want to do that. Plus, he's a turnover machine too. I'm not a big fan of that dude. I'll stick with Skylar and run or whatever. Mike Glennon is not the answer, dude. I just don't even want to see the season end with Mike Glennon at quarterback. I'll live with the guys that we've had here. That's kind of the way I'll look at it. By the way, the line right now, the Bills are favored by 10.5 points. The over and under is 44. It's a Wiz Khalifa money line, plus 420 for the Dolphins, minus 540 for the Bills. So you know what Vegas feels about that game. There you go. All right, let's do this. My voice is a little rough today from yesterday. Let me take a quick break because I haven't taken a break here in the first 42 minutes of the show. Give me 2 minutes here, quick 2-minute break so I can rest the voice right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Welcome back. I'm just looking here that Motley Crue and Def Leppard are coming March 12th to the Hard Rock Live. You know, I would love to go, but I'm not. Because Motley Crue is an absolute ripoff. I wouldn't pay 5 cents to go see this Motley Crue. It's a joke. It's a shell of what it used to be. They're stealing money. So they end up jacking up the price. And that is nuts, man. Wow. That's too bad. I really like Leopard. Joe still sounds good. But I know that price is going to be probably, I haven't even looked at the price, but I would imagine that the price is going to be pretty bad. Frankie Fresco, thank you, my man. Appreciate you. You can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Frankie just made my favorite kind of donation. He donated a little Bitcoin through Cash App. I love that, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cash App or Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show. Ho Yoon, thank you, my friend. He says a happy Monday, and it definitely is a happy Monday. He gives us a little love on Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show on Venmo or Cash App. And, of course, you can donate a little Bitcoin, too, there on Cash App or Venmo, actually, too. They also have you can also send crypto through Venmo, too. So you want to send me a little Bitcoin? Do it, baby. I love it. Motley Poo. Exactly. It's just, it is such a disgrace what Motley Crue is doing, brother. I mean, Vince Neil hasn't been able to sing in well over 10 years, maybe 15 it's been. And Tommy Lee has been replaced at times. I don't even know if he's still there or not right now during this tour. I know somebody else replaced him because he got injured. And then Mick Mars is no longer touring with them. Oh, please, dude. It's a joke. And so you're going to be paying a lot of money for that ticket to see Motley Poo. You know? That's a perfect name because that's what they are. They're a disgrace. And those of you that go to that, it's like you're throwing your money away to something that you're allowing them to rip people off, basically, is what you're doing. That is, oh my God, it's bad. Yeah, Mick Mars, God bless him, man. He has dealt with his physical ailments from day one, and he has hung in there, man. He's a tough son of a bitch. But you can only go so far, unfortunately, now. So, yeah. Alex Chin says, Big O, everyone missed it yesterday. The Dolphins scored all 3 points in honor of Hamlin. There you go. And we got a 2-pointer in there also. But, yeah, there you go. I don't have a problem with that. I told the Damar Hamlin story, his GoFundMe page is up to $8.5 million. Okay? $8.5 million. That's impressive, dude. Okay. Not as impressive as a victory cigar from Perdomo Cigars. Yeah, 5150 Northwest, 167th Street in Miami Lakes, 33014. That is the zip code. If you want to put it in your Waze or anything like that, find it, 5150 Northwest, 167th Street. Really easy. Right off of the Palmetto Expressway and 57th Avenue. You'll see it right there on the south side. You can't miss it. Big old Perdomo cigars. And they've got a ginormous humidor there with all of the Perdomo cigars. Whether you want to get a 20th anniversary or an Estate Selección or a Lot 23 or a 10th anniversary or double-aged 12-year vintage. Man, I'm telling you, the Maduro got a 91 rating from Cigar Aficionado. Nicaraguan wrapper. It is smooth. It's got this rich, robust finish. So if you ever tried a double-aged 12-year vintage, it is a absolute smoke show, as they say. And one of the things, or many things that I love about Perdomo is the construction. 2, the pull, consistent from beginning to end. And then the flavor. You know, Nick, from the early days on till now, the one thing you're going to get is great flavor from a Perdomo cigar. You're going to get it from beginning to end. I don't care if you're smoking a Champagne. I don't care if you're smoking a Sun-Grown or a Connecticut or a Maduro. And let me tell you, their Connecticut's are also got great flavor too. Because sometimes Connecticut's can taste a little leafy and they don't have enough flavor. Perdomo, man, they just do a great job the way they grow the leaf, the way they prepare everything, so that way you, the aficionado, gets to enjoy it. So go to your nearest cigar bar anywhere in the world, ask for it by name, go online to perdomocigars.com, visit the factory there in Miami Lakes at 5150 Northwest 167th Street, and tell them that Big O sent you. And you never know, man, you might run into Nick. He's there all the time, and you can take a picture with the legend, baby. Nick Perdomo. So the next time we have a victory, light up a victory cigar the Perdomo way. Perdomocigars.com. Tua Time says, Big O, going to see Springsteen here in Orlando on February 5th. And yes, I did have to mortgage my house. Yeah, I know. They're expensive tickets. But the Boss sounds great. The Boss still puts on one hell of a show. The Boss is an American freaking treasure. So, you might spend a little extra. It's like going to see David Gilmour. You're going to spend a little extra, but it's well worth it because you get to see David Gilmour do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, Roger Waters, not that stinking anti-Semite, but David Gilmour, you might pay a little extra because you only come to a few spots in the country. So you'll have to travel, you'll have to spend, but it'll be well worth it to go see David Gilmour do his thing. Same thing as Springsteen. Doesn't matter where you see Springsteen, man. He's going to give you a great show. He's going to give you a ton of songs. He's an American treasure, man. I think it's un-American not to love Bruce Springsteen. Put it that way. That's the way I look at it. I think Bruce Springsteen is just one of the great, great artists of all time. One of the great songwriters of all time. Top 10 songwriter of all freaking time. He is, I mean, I'm telling you, the Lord gave him the kind of talents that very few have, man. One of the great frontmen of all time, one of the most distinctive voices of all time. Just a great, great performer. Love Bruce Springsteen. I could see that dude in loop. So good for you, by the way. Enjoy it, man. I like Bruce's Jeep commercials after his DUI. I agree about Bruce. Great songs. Yeah, man. Try getting tickets in New Jersey for the Boss. Oh no, I can imagine, dude. But that's where, don't you want to see the Boss in Jersey, right? Because there's that's why, like, the next U2 tour. The next U2 tour, I am going to go see my man Bono and company. I'm going to Ireland. I'm going to Dublin for sure. So you want to do that, you know what I'm saying? So you want to see the Boss in New Jersey. I think that would be cool. I mean, I think I told you guys the other day, I haven't had the opportunity yet to go, but I'm dying to go up to Madison Square Garden and see Billy Joel just once at MSG. Like, I've seen Billy Joel, I don't know, 20 times, maybe not that much, like 12 times maybe. But I've never seen him in MSG. I've never seen him in New York. So that would be kind of cool. You want to see the Boss in Jersey. I think that's actually a really, really cool thing. Big O, is Skyler in the top 5 worst QBs you've seen to start the Dolphins? He's pretty awful. Oh, God. No, Pat White was worse. John Beck was worse. Actually, Ray Lucas is better than this guy. Jay Fiedler is way better than this guy. Tannehill's better than him. It's pretty bad, dude. He's right up there with some of those guys we just talked about. He's just after the John Becks of the world, but he's somewhere in there. He's with I'm trying to remember the lefty that Shula had years ago. Just to throw a crazy ass name out there. What's his name, dude? Oh man, trying to remember this lefty. I want to say he might have been number 7. Oh, God. He was a backup for Shula. I don't even know if he ever got in a game. If one of you gets that name. No, Chad's better than this guy. Check down Chad Henne. Definitely. No, not Crash Jensen. He was a quarterback before. Not Scott Mitchell. No, Scott Mitchell's way better than this guy. No, Drunken Miller is that was bad, bro. That was bad. Scott, Jim Drunken Miller looked to me like he's a guy that couldn't solve a 5-year-old's puzzle. You know what I mean? And that was Guy Benjamin. That's it. Way to go. Terry Rodriguez. Nice job by you, Guy Benjamin. Yes. There you go. He's in the Guy Benjamin class. I want to say Guy Benjamin was number 7. Let me see if you Google Guy Benjamin, does it come out? Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. It does come out. That is awesome. That's fantastic. Oh man. But it comes out, I at least the one that I just found now, it's when he's in San Francisco, Guy Benjamin. Let's see. There we go. This is Guy Benjamin, number 7, who played for the Miami Dolphins. He was a backup that Shula had. I got to tell you, man, Terry Rodriguez, you're good, man. You're good. Or ma'am, you're good because it's a T-E-R-I. So I'm not exact. Maybe you're using your what? See, some of you out there, I don't even know what your name is. You know, you're chiming in. You don't even have a profile, a real picture or a name. So I don't even know if I'm actually talking to, but it's Guy Benjamin, man. That is awesome. Is there one of him in the Dolphins uniform? You know what? Let me put Guy Benjamin QB. Let's see. Does he come out with the Dolphins? No, I don't think so. Nope, they got him at Stanford. Trying to remember. Let me see. I don't think I can find a picture of him in a Dolphins uniform here on Google right now. Nope, no Guy Benjamin. There you go. That's him? Okay, but no 7. All right. That's funny. There you go. Okay. All right. I got your picture now.
Yeah, that's him and Shula.
Yeah. How about that? Guy Benjamin, Brent. So yeah, that's where he's at. He's in that. And by the way, very few of us saw Guy Benjamin and Skylar Thompson play. Okay. Shula coach Benjamin with better play. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, it's Shula, bro. Come on, That's years later. By the way, Dolphin Nation, don't you realize, God, how spoiled we were with Shula? And I know you young people, you're not going to want to hear this. And you're like, oh, my God, they're going back in time. And, oh, you old people, you got to go back in time. And is that, well, I'm sorry, man. But, you were never out of a game with the old man. You were never out of a game. It didn't matter if Guy Benjamin had to start, or Don Strock, or Doug Peterson, or whoever had to fill in. It was just one of those weird things. Like, it was always impressive how he would adjust to anything and everything that was going on. It just, you can't allow, for us older folks, that's the stuff that can never get away from you, man. You're like, wow, this guy just knew how to get it done one way or another. Didn't matter what he was handed from one year to the next. Big O, remember Ron Jaworski? Of course I remember Jaws. But forget about Jaws playing for the Dolphins. Okay? I remember Jaws and the Eagles coming to the Orange Bowl. And, brother, he could not call a play. Those of you that are old enough, you know what I'm talking about. We're in the stands. We're going crazy. We're screaming. The Orange Bowl, as you know, stomping, all that. It can get really loud. It was a Monday night football game, I want to say. And Ron Jaworski, I want to say for like 3 or 4 consecutive attempts to call a play. and he could not call. He was like, oh, and he'd point to the referee, and I believe that they come up with rules like a couple of years later about too much fan noise or something like, I forgot what it was or something. But I remember that specifically Jaws was frustrated to hell that for 3 or 4 straight times he attempted to call run a play and nobody could hear him. He couldn't call the play because the Orange Bowl was so freaking loud. I mean, those were the days where the Dolphins were great and the fans were also great because the energy that they brought every game, every night, whatever it was, a day or night game. We had a lot of night games because the Dolphins were one of the marquee teams in the league in those days. So you always wanted to see the Dolphins on television. And man, that was awesome. That was an awesome moment to be a part of, in Dolphin history. If you were in that crowd that night and Jaworski could not get the playoff, that was just freaking awesome, man. Big O, look at the garbage QBs we had over the years. Thank God we found Tua. Just now we need him to take care of himself. That's the next one. Drago says, Big O, didn't you say Guy was lefty? You think Skyler couldn't get the ball to Tyreek because the team is now a lefty team? No, Skyler's just bad, bro. We all like what we saw in the preseason. Skyler, he's nothing, bro. He's a jag, and he's had more than enough opportunities. As I told you last week, this was an important game for him in another way. You have to look at it and say, can you build on that? No. Right now, I wouldn't waste any more time. If I can get somebody better that I think has more potential, I'd take him over Skylar Thompson in a heartbeat. Yeah, I have not seen enough there that I gotta, really invest into that dude, unfortunately. Let's take a break. 1 hour down. We got 2 more to go. Alan Poupart's going to join us at the bottom of the hour at 11:30. Andy Behrens will join us at noon. We'll have Ira Winderman somewhere around 1 o'clock. He'll join us. Normally it's at 10:30, but today we had to move him around. He's got some personal things, so we will accommodate him. That's the beauty of the platform, that we do that here on digital. So he'll join us around noon. We'll continue with your questions, your comments, your insults, all kinds of stuff. Remember, you can also send in your comments, your questions, your insults, your even a compliment on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And, of course, you can do what Frankie did, donate a little Bitcoin, man. Love a little Bitcoin. All right, let's take a break. Hour number 2 is next right here on the Big O Radio Show on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Right, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. We're technically in it already. All right, there we go. Just wanted to answer to somebody because, some guy, Louis Kerfstein, says to me, Dan Marino played in the Super Bowl in his second season and lost it. The whole world was sure he'd be eventually back to win it, but he never reached it again. Big O Show thinks Tua should sit and wait till 2023 and play again to eventually win it all. Are you comparing apples and oranges here? Like Marino was in the Super Bowl and, well, then he thought he'd make it back again, right? Which, by the way, in hindsight, wait a minute, Dan, you got there with no defense and no running game. How many times are you really going to do that, Dan? Think about how, in hindsight, that statement filled us up with a lot of stupidity. Okay? So when we say that story, okay, I get that it's a nice little story and everybody talks about like, hey, you got to take advantage, whatever you can. But first of all, this guy's thinking that this Dolphin team is a Super Bowl caliber team. So he has to play right now because this is our window. Like, come on, how stupid can you be? Like, this is not a playoff team, as injury riddled as they are. Just be happy they're in the playoffs. That's the problem with some of you. Some of you out there, you want a defense to shut them down. Why would they shut them down? They're not very good. They're too injury riddled. And they've got a bunch of players like X and Chubb who are underperforming and Raekwon Davis. So if you got people that are supposed to be important to your team and they're underperforming, and then the rest of your team is injured, and you only got a couple of guys performing, why should they be dominant? It's stupid to even think that. And guess what was also stupid to think? It was stupid for us to think, not because Marino made it, it's because Marino made it with no defense and no running game. How stupid can you be to even think you would come back again? That's the beauty of that myth and that story. Oh, Marino thought he'd be back again. And all the fans, and we all thought we'd be back. Well, we're all stupid. Okay? Stop repeating a story that makes us all look stupid because I was stupid. You're stupid if you're old enough at that time thinking that. Because Marino, by getting there, was a miracle of God. You got there because Marino has balls that don't fit inside the Orange Bowl. That's why you got there. But you weren't going to win it without a defense and a running game. Hell, you can't get back there without a defense and a running game. And then you ran into the Bills. What did they have? Oh, my God, they had an offense, a defense, and a running game. Holy shit. They kept getting there. Why didn't the Dolphins keep getting there? We got to stop with that story because it makes you look stupid. And if you think that Tua needs to rush back because this is a Super Bowl team, you're stupid. You know, some of you out there, it's just like, and I know my show here is not necessarily the perfect show for today's sensitive audience and sensitive people out there. Oh my God, he insulted me. Some guy, I guess he doesn't really pay attention to, who I am. And so I was like, like making fun of Trump or something, because it's really easy to make fun of that clown. And so then he comes back at me with Biden. And so, I tell him, look, moron, I don't care about that. He's like, well, I don't need to listen to you if you're insulting me. I go, well, you insulted me, bro. You think I'm a Biden guy. Don't insult me that way. I'm not a Trump or a Biden guy. But you clowns that are on the Trump side or clowns that are on the Biden side, if you say something, you must be from the other side, It's like, yeah, get out of here, you little sensitive bitches. So some of you out there, stop with that story already. Stop with the whole Tua thing. Oh, he's got to get back. You never know what will happen. Don't be stupid. Don't be an idiot. Don't be a moron. Show some IQ. Show some intelligence. This team is too injury riddled. Just be happy you got here, man. Can't you guys just have some realistic expectations? You're not really doing much with Tyler or Teddy. Been telling you that since the offseason. And they've proven it all year. They're just Jags. They're nothing. This team is too injured now at this point. This is not the team from, the beginning of the season. They've lost just way too much now at this point. I keep telling you, Marino couldn't win it without a defense and a running game. How are they going to do it now? Come on. Think about it. If Marino can't win it without a defense and a running game, how's Tua going to do it now? Come on, guys. Come on, ladies. Let's use a little common sense. Let's enjoy the ride. They overcame a whole bunch of crap and they made the playoffs. Whatever happens in this game, just let's hope it's competitive. That's it. But let's not get real. Let's not get, ridiculous. Tua needs to take the entire season off and come back fresh next year. Let's be happy we're in the playoffs, and that's it. That's it, man. Emilio says, if the team from the beginning of the season was out there, we'd have a good – no, let me tell you, Emilio, if this team was healthy, like I said this in the first hour, if this team was healthy without Byron, don't give me Byron, screw Byron. The way Kohou's played, give me back my Needham, give me back my Trill Williams, give me back my Brandon Jones. We beat the Bills. We beat the Bills, dude. They were in they should have beat the Bills a couple of weeks ago. They beat the Bills. A healthy team, they beat the Bills. I'm sorry. But I'm not going to put again, you people out there are guilty of this. You want Tua to play, and then when they lose, you then get pissed at Tua and everybody else when you had unrealistic expectations about where the hell you're going. And that's the problem. Yeah, dude, I had a friend of mine yesterday who was like, well, you never know, man, okay? Skyler could get hot. And I go, what indicates to you that Skyler would get hot? He can't even read a defense, dude. Where's that indication? I'm sorry. I must have missed it. Well, and I go, come on, bro. Okay, give me a blind ass fan alert, he said. And I go, well, if you were on the show, I'd give it to you.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
Next time you have somebody tell you that whole thing, that whole Marino story, tell them what I told you. Stop repeating a stupid story. Okay? Stop repeating it. Because it doesn't make us look very smart. Because I've been saying it for years myself too. And then I thought about it. I go, why would we think that you're going to get back again? Why? Why? Why would you think you're going to get back again? Why would you even think you'd have a chance if you even got back again with no defense and a running game? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. Because when Marino went, he got his ass handed to him by the San Francisco 49ers because they had a defense and a running game along with their offense. It's like it's silly unreasoning that fans have. And I'm one of them, but at least I'm willing to admit, what a dumbass. Why would I think that for many years? Well, we all thought Marino would make it back. Even Marino thought he would make it back. Well, guess what? We're all dumbasses for even thinking that. Dear Big O, going back to Argentina after playing a beautiful game at H-Rock. We are in the playoffs, so let's enjoy it. 1 week less to wait for next season. That is all. There you go. That's it, man. Let's just enjoy it. Let's have some fun. They made it. Brutal year. And they still made the playoffs. If we can keep people healthy next year, then they can make some serious noise. Where is the Super Bowl next year? This year's Phoenix. Where's next year? I forgot now. Can you find out for me, Sean?
I want to say we looked it up and it was Vegas. Let me double check though. I believe it was Vegas next year.
Wow. So then that tells me in a couple months I gotta go get me an Airbnb already in Vegas for next year. Got to plan ahead, man. God, that would be the best if it's in Vegas and they make it, because then I can go hang out for a couple of weeks, do the East-West Shrine, do the Pro Bowl, whatever that crap is. But at least you might be able to get some interviews and talk to players and stuff like that. And you'll get to talk to other people in the league and all that. So that's cool. Is it?
All right, it goes Glendale, Vegas, New Orleans.
Also, it's in Northern California, right? That's Glendale, Southern California.
This year it's at State Farm Arena, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then next year it's in LA?
No. Next year it's in Vegas.
Oh, next year's in Vegas.
Yeah,
okay.
and then the following year it's in Nolens.
Oh, in Nolens. Okay. All right. I don't know why I thought I heard of Glendale. Okay. All right.
No, this year it's in Glendale, Arizona. At the
Okay, that's Arizona. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not in Phoenix. That's right. It's not in Phoenix. It's in Glendale. I got you. Okay. My bad. All right. So next year it's in Vegas. I love it. Little Vegas action. Vegas, baby. Yeah. I gotta send my I gotta cash in my ticket, bro. Mark says, Big O, even with all the injuries, if Mike McDaniel wouldn't be so stubborn and ran the ball, we'd clinch the playoffs 2 weeks ago. My hope is he learns, adjusts, and be much better next year. Yes, I agree. He's super smart. He's got to be able to learn from this. And let me tell you, the challenges, they cannot wait till their 18th week to win one. You got to do better than that. Holy crap. Dennis Walker says the tight end big play was a lot of luck. The ball wasn't intended for him. He was going deep to Tyreek, but Skylar's arm got hit. Yeah, I mean, whatever, man. You got lucky. You got by. It is what it is. That's it. Just enjoy it. My expectations for Skylar are very low. They should be. Alfredo, people take too much for granted. This is the 24th playoff appearance for the Miami Dolphins. The all-time leader is the Green Bay Packers with 35. Making the playoffs is special. Exactly. Just enjoy the moment. Alf is right. Just enjoy the moment. They made the playoffs after all this. That's what I was telling you in the postgame show yesterday. That, okay, they underperformed what we expected. We expected more out of the team. All right, fine. But, man, they had a hell of a year that they got every bad break in the book. So many injuries. Your starting quarterback missed, 5 games? Or 6, whatever. And you still made the playoffs? Enjoy it, man. It's not a bad thing. It's a pretty cool thing to live out, man, and to enjoy. Do want to remind you, Nature B, proud sponsor, man. I've been telling you about Nature B for 20 years. 20 years. I take those two golden capsules every single day. It powers me through my day. More importantly, my favorite part, boosting my immune system. And we still have a great deal going on right now. You buy 2 months, you get the 3rd month for free, and you're going to get free shipping. So normally 2 months is $66. All right. So now you add the 3rd month for $66. That's less than $1 a day. It's like 70 something cents or something. I don't know. You do the math. 90 days, 92, 93 days for $66. So you're saving yourself a lot of money, and you're saving yourself money in shipping. And then it's great for the family. It's great for the kids. It's great for the adults. It's all natural plant pollen grown from clean green New Zealand. Not made in a lab. It's grown from Mother Nature, baby. And all you have to do, go Google plant pollen so you can see all the benefits that come with plant pollen. Great for the indigestion. You'll grow stronger nails, longer nails, fuller hair, stronger nails. It's just absolutely phenomenal. You can't OD on it. You can eat like 40 of them and nobody's going to do anything. But all you need is those 2 golden capsules every day. I swear to you, by the 2nd week, you start to really feel it. You really start to feel it, and it's in your system, and it's potentiated. So they break it down. So that way, when you absorb it, it goes right into your system right away. Here's the taste test. Go ahead and get any capsule, break it up, and try to drink that powder. And you're going to go, you'll have that bitter beer face. Remember Keystone, bitter beer face? Do it with Nature B. You're going to go, wow, this doesn't taste bad. This tastes good. And then you have your water or whatever you want to drink it with and enjoy it. Go to natureb.com. Use our code BIGO. 2 months, get the 3rd month for free and free shipping. natureb.com. It's a beautiful thing. By the way, he got ripped off yesterday. We'll talk to Ira at 1 o'clock on that one. Although it's like a catch-22. Like Jimmy got fouled, right? when he drove to the hoop at the end, but he missed the bunny on the drive before in the paint. So, and when Jimmy at the end of I love Jimmy because he said, he doesn't make any excuses. He didn't point at it. 26 points. The guy played his ass off like he always does. Bam with the hand injury. That's the part that really sucks. Tyler came through yesterday, but he should have hit the bunny before that is what he should have done, but he didn't. And he did get fouled by Royce O'Neal. Definitely bodied him going in there. And then the Panthers lost yesterday 5-1. The Panthers season has been an outright disaster. Oh my God. Bad. Let's see. Mauricio, a win is a win regardless of the outcome this Sunday. McDaniel proved he was the right coach for the team, bringing out the best from Tua, showing that he can be a franchise QB. Agree? Lofi, I'll have some hope for Skyler if he can play loose and confident. Huge game last week, bigger next one. I just don't see a guy that reads defenses. I just don't see it. I see a guy that waits for everything to happen to then throw it. And his anticipatory skills are not very good. So I just don't see enough. And he's had enough to show me something. You know what I mean? And this is a good lesson for all of us, so that way the whole preseason thing, those of you don't get too excited about, kicking it in preseason. Oh my God, you're awesome. What do you got, Sean?
I see a super chat. I didn't know if you got it already or not. I saw.
No, I must have missed it. I must have missed a bunch of super chats if any of them came in. Preston Sampson, how many times have we seen them blow this game over the last umpteenth time? I will happily take it. Was an important win for this young team who is learning the hard way on how to win. Yeah, no, you're right, Preston. Look, man, McDaniel for me had to win one of the last two games. He had to show me that you could do something without your star quarterback. You got to do something, and they were winnable games against teams you can beat. And I'm glad that they got it done. Definitely needed to get it done. So thank you, by the way, for the super chat. Very nice. Remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And let's see. Ohio John on Venmo. Thank you, Cash Big O Show. Love the duo of Wilkins and Sealer. Great season for the two. I can only hope the light went on for Paul Soliai goes on for Raekwon Davis next year. Well, Ohio John, next year's a contract year. So something tells me it better go on because and those are the most dangerous players in the world. Soliai's light went on in year 3, and then 4 he became a really, really good player, but it went on. Raekwon Davis's light has not gone on yet. It's too sporadic. He makes very few plays. Okay, he has not lived up to his draft status, but next year he has no choice. But let me tell you something. Those are the most dangerous players in the NFL to re-sign. Those are the guys that bother me the most. Emmanuel Ogbah came here. He had to work his ass off for a contract. He did. And then when he got his contract, he wasn't living up to it before he got injured. And that, those are the kind of things that are kind of scary, that you're almost better off. If he has that year, you tell him, all right, go ahead. Go get another contract from somebody else. We'll take the compensatory pick instead. So it's very, very dangerous. Okay. Speaking of dangerous, Alan Poupart, he lives a dangerous life. Yes, sir. He covers the Dolphins every single day. That's dangerous to your health. He's been on it for 30 years. Look at him. He's aged like hell. It's the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
There he is. Look at all that white hair. See, that's all due to the Dolphins, right there, baby.
That and kids.
Well, oh yeah, that kids will do that. Yeah, that'll help out a little bit, but it's mostly Dolphins, really. Let's be honest.
Sure.
It's mostly Dolphins. Although I got to say, and maybe a homer approach to it, considering all the crap that they went through this year, it's not a bad thing to make the playoffs. I get it; they're not much of a playoff team,
it's
but
never bad to make the playoffs.
Right, man. It's cool to make the playoffs, and I get it. They're so injury riddled now at this point. It's really hard to think that they're going to make some kind of a deep run. But damn, dude, you think about it. If this team was healthy, Alan, they could make some noise in the playoffs.
Maybe.
It'd
be nice to find out, but that's just hypothetical. We saw what they were when they were at their very best. We saw what they were, and they could compete.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now they're not that team.
No. Now they're not that team. So explain to me why it took to week 18 for McDaniel to win a challenge, stay with the running game, and use Mike Gesicki.
Well, Mike Gesicki has had a couple of other games as well. I
think four catches. Bro, he had 4 catches.
I understand. Well, one of them, one of them, the long one on the right sideline, if you see the replay, I'm not sure that's intended for him because Skyler throws the ball and his arm gets hit just as he's going like this. So I'm going to guess he was going deeper. And with the running game, that was part of the whole thing. I think McDaniel was smart enough to realize coming into this game, the Jets' offensive line has been bad for 2 months, and now they're missing 3 starters off a bad line, which means it's going to be even worse. We can get pressure on Flacco, whether we sack him or not. They didn't even sack him, but he was under duress the entire game. And then the Jets' running game, which has been garbage since Breece Hall got hurt, you knew wasn't going to hurt the Dolphins, and every time they kept trying it, it was a yard, 2 yards. So I think McDaniel pretty much figured out quickly that we don't need to get that much done on offense. So let's run the ball a lot, make sure we don't, make turnovers. And if it has to be an ugly slop fest to win, that's what it'll be. And guess what? Depending on which players they have available, it may have to be the formula against Buffalo on Sunday as well.
So what's your gut tell you? Tua was at the stadium. Yeah. Do they even attempt to play him this week? Because I think they should hold him out, but they do crazy shit in the league. So you tell me.
No, it's like I said before. It's like, first of all, I don't want to speculate. I don't know. I think if the Dolphins are told by the doctors he's medically cleared, he's fine to go, and Tua says, I want to go, I don't think the Dolphins are going to proactively say, we don't care what the doctors say. We're going to be, we're going to err on the side of caution here. Even if you're cleared and you want to play, no, you're not playing. I don't think that's where the Dolphins would go. The question now is whether he's going to be cleared by the doctors.
Right. And where do we know anything here? Because we don't even know what has to happen this week. If, let's say, if they're going to activate him, what has to happen? Is there anything that has to happen today, or it doesn't have to happen till Wednesday?
No, Wednesday, to me, the first step toward thinking that there's any chance he plays is you need to see him at practice. I mean, that's one of the steps of the concussion protocol is to return to practice on a limited basis. Well,
but those light workouts, couldn't you do that on a Monday since he didn't play? That's what I'm saying.
As part of the return to return to play protocol, that's not. I think it's not like throwing on the side. I believe it's taking part in a practice, but like being limited to certain things, as I recall. So that'd be the first step. And it's very possible that Mike McDaniel speaking later today is his weekly day after the game. And is he going to tell us the same thing he's told us last week, that right now he's proceeding with Teddy and Skyler as the 2 quarterbacks that he's going to work with? It's possible he's going to tell us that. It's possible he's going to say nothing of the sort. His approach with Tua all along since the concussion has been, don't ask me about anything other than today. And today's feeling good. That's what McDaniel has said, and I don't blame him, because There was a time I can tell you, like the NHL refused, to say anything publicly, comment whatsoever when it came to concussions. Again, because they're all fickle. Not both of them are the same. It's not like the guy's got a low ankle sprain, okay, 2 to 4 weeks, whatever, and it applies to everybody. It's completely different. So I have no issue with it. I bitch and moan about the lack of information on injuries as much as the next guy. When it comes to concussions, I back down and let the process run its course.
Some fans, they don't care. They want him to play, and they think, okay, if he can't play, then get rid of him already. He can't be dependent on this, that. And so for me personally, I'd rather him just rest the whole season. After Habid's article with Nowinski, I said, this is this guy Nowinski knows his shit. And using the Sidney Crosby example was like a beautiful way of really reaching us and explaining to us, a bonehead like me that is not very smart, the reasoning of why he needs that time to rest, and so, but we have people that are dying to play him, and they're like, no, you got to get him out there if he can play and all that. How do you feel about it? Personally, forget about Tua would have played last week, not yesterday. He would have played last week if it's up to his crazy ass. We all know that. So, but how do you feel about all of this? That forget about whatever's cleared or not, how they should handle all of this.
You're asking me to give like an educated opinion on something
that's off of Nowinski. Off of that explanation.
That's correct. But that's one guy, and if I'm the Dolphins and or Tua, I gather information from other sources, and if all the doctors agree, son, you should step back, take some time, and then don't worry about playing until next year. Then you follow the advice. The one thing I will say this about fans though, those same fans who are like dying to see him play is all wonderful and all that, but then don't complain if something bad happens, and don't complain or don't throw all the like thoughts and prayers when something like happens to DeMar Hamlin, like happened, which was not even related to a concussion issue, it was just a complete freak accident that happened. You can't have it both ways.
No, but you have your fans that also think, well, you never know what could happen. You can make it to the Super Bowl, and it's like, come on, dude. And so this is what I wanted to spin it on people, right?
That does not take precedence over the guy's long-term health. Sorry.
Right, exactly. No, true. But the reality is this team is so injury riddled. This is not the team that really could get to a Super Bowl and win it anyway. And what I compare it to is the stupidity that we all carried on with Marino. Okay? Well, Marino, got there that early second year, and he thought he was going to go back, and everybody thought he was going to go back. And in hindsight, let's go back and think about that. Let's go use some intelligence, because I don't have a lot left. But let's get back to the intelligence. Okay, so he got there without a running game, without a defense. He lost to a team with a running game and a defense. And then constantly in his division, he had a team by the name of the Buffalo Bills who had a defense and a running game along to go with the offense. You know who are the dumbasses? Marino and the rest of us, me included, that we kept saying, he'll get back. Why would he get back? He never had a running game or a defense. The fact that he just got there was a miracle in itself. And to me,
but you're absolving him of all blame
here. It's ridiculous. You must play Tua. You must play Tua because this is a Super Bowl team. Come on, dude. You don't have a defense and you don't have a running game. You ain't winning no Super Bowl. Come on.
You got a great run defense, but you're absolving Marino of all blame. It's like, dude, they got to 2 more AFC Championship games during which, I get it. Let's be honest, Marino was bad in both of those, in 85 against the Patriots and 92 against Buffalo. And to just say, well, it was always, no running game, no defense.
Wait a minute. You're talking about the Patriots when they went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was 31-14 here, and Marino had a rough game.
We lost that game because we had 3 fumbles in that game.
He threw like 3 picks in that game.
What lost the game were the fumbles. Go look at the game again. What lost
I'll look at the game
game?
and I'll go look at the box score because I remember Marino throwing a lot of picks in that game.
No. Marino always threw picks, bro. Come on.
Okay.
That's another misconception that's out there. Go look at Elway and go look at Marino, bro.
Your overall point is well taken. This is the Dolphins are another Super Bowl team. And here's the other thing too: is for guys, do we really? I mean, how effective is Tua going to be out there if Teron Armstead doesn't play and he's got somebody in his face every 2 seconds? I mean, we talked about the Gesicki play yesterday. For Christ's sake, Skyler couldn't even get the time to get that pass off before somebody hit his arm. It's just right now they are very, very like handicapped offensively because their offensive line is just not holding up.
Yeah. Hell, Eichenberg couldn't even hold up, and they had to get Jones back in.
He got hurt and he came back.
Yeah. So I mean, how'd you think he played? Because allowing the 7 pressures the week before wasn't necessarily a positive sign.
I'll be honest with you. Other than Connor's shotgun issues, I didn't notice any singular players getting beat, but it was just the whole pocket was collapsing way too much, way too early. And then the Jets to run a couple of timely blitzes that also, didn't help the cause. But I mean, the offensive line was just not very impressive, and it wasn't very impressive against the Patriots either.
Yeah. I mean, to their credit, they were facing 2 good fronts. We have to be fair too, okay? They were getting really tested by the Patriots and the Jets. You got to give those guys credit. They do have pretty good defenses overall. By the way, I know it took them 18 weeks, and we started with this, but thank the Lord they stuck with the running game, man. I hope the thumb injury isn't too serious for Mostert because that is one dude that, man, I love the way he was running. He was running hard, dude. Hard. And he's I've always viewed him more as a finesse guy, actually.
Big guy.
Right? Speed, finesse, and there's a little nastiness to his running. I like it.
He bulldozed a couple of guys, and there was one run in the open field. He was like going Marshawn Lynch on the Jets over there. No, that was really impressive. And look, they ran the ball well against Buffalo when they played them in that Saturday night game.
They should have kept running.
That absolutely positively has to be a huge part of the game plan if they are to have any shot.
Yeah, and by the way, you called it months ago. Salvon Ahmed, I got to give that young man a lot of props. He doesn't play much, but every time you call him, he's prepared and he's productive. Every single time this year. It's pretty impressive.
No, that was a huge run that he had, that 7-yard run. It made the game-winning field goal,
a lot easier.
As opposed to being 55, 56 yards, which,
right.
Makes it more difficult. And if you look at the game yesterday, what's the difference in the game? Sanders was 3 for 3. Zuerlein was 2 for 3, missing from 55, and Sanders hit from 50.
Yeah, no longer Greg the leg.
No,
you're right.
He's gotten bad. He's gotten very, very inconsistent. He's got a big leg still, but he's way inconsistent.
What was he going to go for that 59-yard field goal, or was he going to try? Because he's crazy enough to do it. But was
before the 4th down play? No, you can't do that because if you go for that for a game winning for a game winner, that's one thing. I don't know how much was left, like 4 minutes, whatever, 6 minutes. If you miss that, you give the Jets the ball.
I know.
Around midfield.
So was he trying? What was he trying to use somebody's timeout? Was he trying to draw him offside? Was he trying to, or was his crazy ass really going to try that? I mean, it's like I don't know what the hell is going on.
No, I think. I mean, and they'll say whatever they want to say, like about the confidence they have in him. I think they've seen, and again, it's not just that you don't get the 3 points. Is you miss a 55-yard field goal, and well, the opponent's got the ball at the 45. So that's.
But his crazy ass did that to start the game, and ruined field position for the entire quarter, which was, if there's one thing that he leaves to be desired, he's one of the worst game day coaches I've seen here in a long time. He's got to get better with his game day management, bro. Look, he finally started using the running game, the Gesicki thing. You've been so hard-headed with him all year. Why? Because he doesn't block. Well, dude, if you're an offensive genius, Find a way to use a damn offensive weapon that can make any quarterback's life. Dude, he almost caught that one-hander. When he brought it down, if the defender doesn't get his hand in the way, he traps that ball. He freaking traps that ball.
Yep.
All Gesicki does is make plays. And you have refused to use him all year. And in the last 3 weeks, he has helped you because you actually use him. You know what I mean? He makes circus catches. This is the only Dolphin I've ever seen in my life that got the closest to a hat trick with 3 one-handed catches in one game. He did 2, and he almost got that third. And yesterday, he had that ball. Kudos to the defender getting that arm in the way, man. You know, these are things that he's got to get better at managing the all the things that go on in a game. Really, dude.
No, and it's the thing with being aggressive on fourth down, like know who you're playing. Like pin the Jets at their 15. Are they really going to drive 85 yards very often with that offense? No. So that's the part about it I didn't like.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right, we'll talk more about the game at the end of the week. Right now, injury-wise, what should we be concerned about coming out of this game? Waddle got a little banged up with the horse collar. We got Brandon Shell, dude, with the left leg, I think it was. Mostert with the thumb injury. Eichenberg came back with the arm injury. What are you most concerned about?
Teron Armstead. Always.
Well, but that's obvious. But I'm talking about these guys.
You didn't mention X, but X just doesn't look like the same guy right now. So,
did I have to mention that? Like, that's been months now that he's a shell of himself, dude. I'm glad he made the play again, by the way.
Big O, this was the first game where, like, it was more visible because it was first game since that knee injury he had in practice when he banged knees with a teammate, and it was way more obvious yesterday. Of the guys who got injured yesterday, Shell's the one that's a problem again because it's just an accumulation of things on the offensive line.
And he's been such a find for them, dude.
And it didn't look good. It did not look good. One of those where he got his leg rolled up. So what are you going to do now? You're going to go back to Hunt at right tackle for the whole game and Robert Jones at right guard. Guessing, knock on wood, Armstead can come back. I'm not holding my breath on that one. At some point, it's just the accumulation of injuries there for him. It's just ridiculous.
He only plays in the Tua games. So I'm just wondering if they kind of this week said, what do you think, Teron? Maybe we can get by this week. Do you think with a week's rest, if we win, maybe there's a chance Tua comes back? Can you give us another game next week? And maybe he was, because who knows if he was willing to play this week or not, or were they kind of gambling like, okay, we can get by this week without you. We'll buy you 2 weeks of rest because technically he didn't even play the whole game 2 weeks ago. Then he gets the entire week of rest.
No, he didn't play against New England.
Right. And then he'll get another week's rest here because, he doesn't practice much as it is. So I just wonder if there was any of that gamesmanship going on with his injury, because it's been consistent, dude. He doesn't play the non-Tua games.
I understand that, but again, like I said, though, the last 2 games, it's yet another injury, that's been added to the long list, and where it's now, toe, pec, knee, hip. I mean, it's I'll keep knocking on wood the whole week. Hoping he plays, but I don't know if you can count on him at this point. And so you might be looking at Little, Eichenberg, Williams, Jones, and Hunt. So that's the one injury that's concerning. I'm not overly concerned with Waddle, Mostert. Unless we're talking about a broken thumb, that would be a major issue. If not, I think hope is it'll be okay as well. They need both him and Jeff Wilson.
All right, what do you got going on over at Sports Illustrated, my friend, so folks can check you out?
Everything and anything. Kind of closing the book on the Jets, looking ahead to the Bills, and hopefully Mike McDaniel provides us some major information during his press conference later this afternoon, even though I'm thinking, hey, maybe Byron Jones comes back this week. How about that? And we'll be keeping tabs on what he says, and then anything that pops up related to this playoff matchup, we'll be all over it.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Remember, all Dolphin fans, you're not really an official Dolphins fan until you bookmark alldolphins.com there and lock it in with Poupart, as he writes about 46 articles every single day. So keeping you informed on everything going on Dolphins. Alan, we will catch up later on in the week, my friend. Playoff football, baby.
Yes, sir. You'll be good.
You got it. There you go. Alan Poupart. Don't forget, call Eric at EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. There's a lot of you now. You're calling EJD Construction because, and by the way, this is only for Dade and Broward County. Those of you now, you're dealing with your insurance and you've got to get you got to renew your policy for your hurricane coverage. And these companies are telling you, wait a minute, your house is a little bit too old right now. It's over 20 years. And the roof needs to be upgraded. It needs to be updated. And so now you've got to call somebody to get it done. EJD Construction can get it done. Custom home construction, major home remodeling, they do it all. Full contractor, baby, fully insured, liability and workers' comp. So whether you need to upgrade your roof, whether you need to redo something in your home, you got to add an addition to your home. Maybe you want to build an efficiency so you can rent it out and make a little extra money. You can do that if you got a property. EJD Construction can do that. One of our listeners built an observation deck. Another one of our listeners built a beautiful backyard where they have an entire kitchen and barbecue and grease trap and everything. I mean, it's awesome. So whatever you can come up with, he can build it, man. Custom home construction. You need to gut that kitchen and modernize it so he or she can have a brand new modern kitchen to work with. EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. That is Eric's cell number. So call Eric at 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDConstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
So the Arizona Cardinals, according to Ian Rappaport, have fired coach Cliff Kingsbury a year after giving him an extension. That was always a weird hiring. The guy was a failure in in college. He had a losing record in college, and then they hired him. It's the weirdest thing. And this Kyler Murray thing, oh, my God, they're tied to a bad contract because that doesn't look like Kyler Murray looks very millennial-ish, very Generation Z-ish, right? I think it's Z now, right after millennials. Some of these kids that have this, I don't know, it's like this tude of things that they don't really understand how life really goes. And he kind of has that spoiled brat mentality to him. Yeah, it's a shame because he's got the skill set. He's definitely a passer. He's not just an athlete back there. But if you're not fully dedicated to your craft in anything you do, you're not going to excel. And that's a problem, and he can't reach him. So I'm wondering what direction do they go? Do they go the positive type coach, or do they go with the hard ass? That's interesting because I don't know if Kyler Murray can handle a hard ass. From a distance, it just kind of looks like maybe not, but we'll see. Cliff Kingsbury fired by the Arizona Cardinals. Not necessarily surprised on that one. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Give me a couple minutes here. Andy Behrens is going to join us to start hour number 3. And remember, we got fantasy football. Yeah, playoffs fantasy football, daily fantasy. And throughout the offseason, we're going to be able to talk about keepers and dynasty leagues and what to do now. And we'll talk to Andy about some of that stuff. At the end of the month, I'll be at the Senior Bowl. And so Andy and Scott are going to be part of our NFL draft coverage over the offseason. And why? Those guys have to follow the draft too, just like the rest of us, because fantasy football, we've got keeper and dynasty leagues. You've got your own drafts and things like that. It's not just resetting and having a brand new team every year. There are different kinds of fantasy leagues. So that's kind of what these segments are about all throughout the offseason. So now we're going to head into a little playoff fantasy. So, daily fantasy is going to be big over the next couple of weeks. And then obviously we'll get into a lot of keeper and dynasty league talk. Andy Behrens will join us in a couple minutes here to start hour number 3 in our Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone right here on the Big O Radio Show on the Sports Talk 305 Network.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. PPR, draft, keeper, dynasty. It's the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens. Keep up with your fantasy football teams by visiting any of the 8 great Sports Grill locations. Sports Grill, good food, good drink, good friends. Here's Andy Behrens.
There he is, locked and loaded, ready to go. Yes, sir. How many championships did you win?
Well, it was a bloodbath for me in the fantasy quarterfinals, but the finals were very kind to me. I went 3-0 in finals. There was one of them we just decided to split the championship after the events of Monday night, but I was comfortably in charge there, but it wasn't really settled. And whatever, after Monday night, I think we all focused on different things and maybe just wanted the fantasy season to end at a certain level, right?
Right. And you still win. So, in the end, you still come out ahead, which is all right. Now we're going to kind of turn the page over the next couple of months. Now we're going to start getting people ready and talking a little bit about keeper leagues and dynasty leagues, the stuff like that. That's another drug. How many do you have any of those keeper leagues?
Oh yeah. The leagues that I think everybody ends up the most connected to and the most focused on throughout the season end up being dynasty leagues and keeper leagues, right? Where you're retaining players from one season to the next. So absolutely. I mean, I have some longtime leagues that are redraft where it's like a group of old friends, and it's it's great to win those things, great to compete in those things. But the ones where you feel like an actual just visceral connection to the team. They're all dynasty leagues. So I've got a couple. I don't happen to have one right now where I just went full youth movement, right? Like in fact, all my dynasty leagues this year, I thought I had shots, and I won one of them. I had tragic exits in a couple of others, but I've had one of those seasons where you push all the chips in, you trade some picks, you trade some young pieces, and you go for it right now. And so the one I won, I traded for an outrageously expensive Tyreek Hill, who I carry into next year and whose salary causes me problems in that league. But whatever, I got a title with him.
Well, okay, so let me ask you something. Let's talk about some of those players that you want to get right now. And let's talk about some of the guys maybe under the radar right now. The guys that had a bad season. So or guys like a Tua that had a great season, but then had all the injuries. So now the value's gone down. People might be they might think it's a risk to hang on to him. So you tell me.
Well, all right. Couple guys. And I think of these names because I was just going through my first round for, redraft first round for 2023. I think you can probably acquire Cooper Kupp coming off an injury, right? Like, I think that's a thing. I've got him fourth right now in my first round for 2023. Like, that is the kind of player coming off of injury. I'll tell you another who's probably going to end up in my first round. I'm not sure where, maybe 10-ish. Jonathan Taylor. Everybody's down on Jonathan Taylor. Everybody was saying that he was, one of the busts of the season. I kind of sort of get it. Like, when he was healthy, though, he was great. The offensive line was a disappointment. A lot of things were a disappointment, but they're going to come into next year. I don't know how they get there exactly, and I don't know who it's going to be, but you have to figure that they move up in the draft a little bit, get a prime quarterback if they don't deal for a vet, something like that. Like, their quarterback situation is going to be better. Jonathan Taylor is still a guy with 4.3 speed, and he has a 2,000 scrimmage yard season on his resume, right? Like, shouldn't shock anybody if Jonathan Taylor finishes as the number one overall running back next year. And I think people are down on him. Another guy who's like kind of out of sight, out of mind was Dameon Pierce was injured at the end of the season, right? So we didn't see him for like a month we didn't see him in the most important weeks in the fantasy calendar. But that guy finished like top 5 among all running backs in missed tackles forced, and he missed like 3-4 games, right? Like, that guy is really good. So for the most part, it's just those guys that we didn't see in December, or we only saw them sparingly in December, who I think become huge targets for you. Guys coming off of injuries that we have no reason to worry about going into next year. That's a player that I'm interested in.
All right. So, how would you look at Tua?
I'm really bullish. I like it's hard, you know, obviously you guys are in it and you're the hardcore Dolphins fan, so you're entirely focused on this coming weekend, right? So it's almost difficult to take a long view there. I'm excited to like I don't like you guys probably already talked about it on the show. Like, what are our chances that Tua actually plays this week? Because they are a terrifying opponent, like even for the Bills with Tua behind center.
Oh yeah, no, with Tua it's dangerous. Yes,
And their ceiling is probably like 12 points if they don't have Tua, right? Like it's the biggest possible swing. So I'm very bullish on him. The one thing that we don't get from Tua, of course, is that sort of Jalen Hurts, you know, Justin Fields rushing upside. But of course, that rushing upside also comes with a little bit of risk. But Tua's pretty much settled in as somebody who's certainly going to be a top 8 fantasy quarterback next year, and he's going to be in that tier that's just behind. You know, there's going to be a top tier that'll be like Hurts, Mahomes, Allen, and then there's going to be this next tier of like Burrow, Fields, potentially Herbert, and Tua's like right there, right? So, and he's probably going to be the cheapest of that second tier of quarterback. And that means that he's probably somebody who ends up on a lot of my teams, right? Because whoever that last guy is in a tier, I always seem to end up with a lot of shares there. I mean, we're going to go into next year, and there's not. I don't know. Are there 2 guys that have a receiving core that is the equal of the Dolphins? I mean, that's filthy.
Burrow's the only one that's got.
Yeah.
Although. Damn, San Francisco's got a really nice receiver.
San Francisco, when you consider like the top 3 and you roll Kittle in there, is really difficult to compete with. Yeah. But that's it. But that's it. Like you've named them. It's Miami, it's Cincinnati, and then it's San Francisco right now on paper. And that's, you know, and that uplifts him. And we've already seen like the ceiling for Tua when everything clicks, when things are going right. It's the Baltimore game. It's you win your week.
As long as you have the right quarterback, because the other 2. All those weapons don't help the other 2. The other 2 just don't put up the points. You know, that's the thing that I think that's the bright spot about all of this is that if you took them for granted, just look what life is without them, and you can see that you shouldn't take them for granted.
I wanted to say, and this is not fantasy related in any way, but I want to give like a little bit of a shout out to Thompson on that. The thing that I thought he did well, and obviously he didn't put up a lot of points and he wasn't spectacular or anything like that, but I've rewatched that final drive, and he avoided a couple of potential disaster plays, right? In ways that you don't expect to back up to. He easily could have gotten sacked on first down on the final scoring drive, and he managed to tuck the ball, gain a couple yards, and then you're like, all of a sudden it's not 2nd and 15, it's 2nd and 8, and that is manageable. And then there was that like botched handoff situation that he got back to the line of scrimmage, which could have easily been a fumble. It could have easily been, it could have been all kinds of bad things. And it turned into kind of a non-issue, right? And those were, it's not, again, barely shows up in the box score, but like big tip of the cap to him for.
Well, he didn't turn it over, man.
That's huge. That's huge, and that can give you a long career as a backup in the NFL.
He wasn't Joshua Dobbs.
Yep. Yeah, like you can have a really splashy box score, but if you give the ball away 3 times, like you can't win that way.
Right.
And he gave him a chance to win, and he avoided some potentially, I thought, disastrous plays where like Carson Wentz definitely screws that up, right? Like I thought that was nice, and he got you there. He landed the plane.
So I got a question for you, because I don't know, all leagues are different in the trading, and does the trading start right when their league ended this past week or last week or whatever? And so I'm just wondering, because Tua's stock has to be down now, right? So if you're going to try to make that move, do you do it now just in case before he plays the playoff game? Because if he does play the playoff game and shines, the value skyrockets again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not in any dynasty leagues where the trade window just is open every day of the year. I kind of wish I was, but I'm not. All my leagues have like, there's the trade deadline in season that hits, and then, there'll be like some period of time, either it's after the NFL draft or it's before then, when we have to set contracts or stuff like that, and then we can trade again. But he would be on that list of guys that I would definitely make a play for if I had to need a quarterback. Also, it's the easiest position in fantasy to fill. So I would not only encourage people to get involved in dynasty leagues, I would encourage people to get involved in superflex leagues so that quarterback becomes almost as important in your fantasy life as it is in real life.
By the way, Steve Keim has also stepped down as GM of the Cardinals, along with the firing of Cliff Kingsbury now. So that is also breaking. So new head coach, new general manager coming with the Cardinals. All right, the other guy that does produce with his legs that you talked about is Lamar Jackson. So he needs a new contract. They haven't given him a new contract. Is he really looking for Deshaun Watson type guarantees? That might be a problem. That might be a negotiating issue. He doesn't have an agent. He does have now a recent injury history that you've got to be really concerned about with him, because he really hasn't. You see, when you watch Jalen Hurts, the accuracy has improved with him
a lot. Yeah.
Right. With Lamar, it has not. It's the same dude over and over again. He can only throw a couple of routes. He's really not. He can't throw the whole tree because he's just not accurate. And so I'm just wondering, how do you look at the Lamar Jackson offseason as a keeper player, a dynasty player?
If I had him in dynasty, my focus would be on who are his receivers going to be next year, because he's never been paired with an alpha, right? Like Jalen Hurts has an obvious personal commitment to improvement, and had a great offseason and made a real leap from last year to this year. It also sure helps that not only did Devontae Smith develop, but he landed AJ Brown, right? He landed one of the 5 best receivers, 6 best receivers in football. Huge deal. Lamar has Rashad Bateman, who hasn't been able to stay healthy. He had Hollywood Brown last year, who is certainly not good player, probably a complimentary player, right? Like he's
Actually, Duvernay has been his best weapon outside of the tight end.
Yeah, obviously Mark Andrews has been essentially the number one. And to be perfectly honest, like they use Mark Andrews as a wide receiver. Like he never blocks. Like there's no pass blocking there. He's running a route 97% of the time. Like he's either in the slot or he's out wide. He's a wide receiver for that team. And so he's kind of been their number one. But they've not had that, whether it's a just go get it X receiver, whether it's that true multi-purpose, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown type of receiver, just don't have that. And so I would like to see Lamar with that guy. If they go into next season and it's still just Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins and your best receiver is Rashad Bateman or similar, I'm going to be a little bit down on Lamar Jackson, and he's probably the bottom of that tier that I talked about with Tua, right? But on the other hand, if the Ravens go out and land like DJ Moore, they make a play for DeAndre Hopkins, something like that, which is probably available, right? And would seem like a good fit for a veteran team like Baltimore. I don't know how the salaries work, all that, but like if they add a top tier wide receiver or an upper tier wide receiver, I will definitely feel differently about Lamar.
All right, playoffs this week. For daily fantasy, is there a couple players you're really looking forward to in some of these matchups this week? Talk to me.
Yeah, I am. First of all, I'm looking forward to Trevor Lawrence. I don't think either team in that game, in the Chargers-Jaguars game, can come out of the AFC or make noise beyond this week. But I can't wait to watch that game. I think the Jaguars have been such a great story. I think Lawrence's best games have been, and his best throws have been some of the best that we've seen all season from anyone. And he's doing it with this sort of sketchy receiving core. Christian Kirk is really good. They've wrung every drop of value out of Zay Jones this year, but like Lawrence gets Calvin Ridley next year. How exciting is that? So I'm just excited to see what the Jaguars look like on this stage against a team that can definitely put up a number. I just think these are two really, really interesting, really fun teams. Lawrence is a guy that I might be interested in starting at quarterback. The Vikings and Giants, two other teams that can't possibly advance beyond this week, in my opinion. Right? Another really interesting game because one of them has been kind of a fluky comeback story. I think the Vikings are really fun. I think Justin Jefferson is a strong candidate to be the number 1 overall pick in drafts next year. I think Daniel Jones is fun. There's a pretty good chance that like Daniel Jones, as I think about building DFS lineups, there's a pretty good chance actually that Daniel Jones is going to be my quarterback on a lot of those teams. I haven't looked at salaries yet, but Daniel Jones is generally on the cheap side, and there's no defense that's been more generous this year than the Minnesota Vikings, right? But literally the only thing they've been good at is they have generated some takeaways, but they just hemorrhage yards and points. And Daniel Jones has had it was a signature game a couple weeks ago for him. So I think he's probably among the most interesting plays. I also think J.K. Dobbins will be a pretty good value this week because he was held out this past week against Cincinnati, so he can be fresh for the rematch in a game that really counts.
I thought Dable has done he has done
incredible job,
outstanding job.
And it was really underscored in week 18 when it didn't matter, like how well his team played and how hard they played. That was outstanding. He's been
Mike
great.
Tomlin should be up for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, Dan Campbell too. Like shout out to Dan Campbell.
By the way, kudos to Dan Campbell. He did better than I ever expected him to do this year. To be quite honest, I got to give them credit. I did not see them winning 9 games. I kind of looked at this rah stuff as it's overrated, and maybe it still is. But this year, at least, I got to give him some love because he did way better than I expected the Lions. I expected the Lions to have another 5-win season, to be in that area. But
I think it's shocking that that offense was so good that the conversation now is all of a sudden, wow, do we just have our guy in Jared Goff and we don't have to get a quarterback? Like that's kind of amazing to me because the assumption all along was that like the Lions were laser focused on this quarterback class and how do we get a dude out of this?
If I'm them, I'd still draft a quarterback.
Yeah. I would as well. It's just their offense was so great all season that it's at least a conversation,
Oh no, definitely. I mean, God bless him, bro. But you don't know until he comes back next year and does it again.
Yeah,
that's when you'll know that he crossed that threshold. Because if not, then all we have basically is oh God, what's his name for the Browns? About Derek Anderson. About 10 years ago.
Yeah, the 2007 Browns, the phenomenal Derek.
You even know the exact year? It was 07?
Oh my God, I think it was 07. It was Derek Anderson, it was Braylon Edwards, and nobody saw it coming, and they didn't repeat it, but it was magical, yeah.
I want to say he threw like 27 touchdowns that year or something.
It's amazing.
And it's like, and they gave him that contract, and then he never, ever did it again. And so that's the problem, because Jared, when he was with the Rams, they kind of hit him in there. They just had him facilitate pretty much. He didn't have to carry because those early days, obviously they had Gurley and they had all those guys going. They had a hell of an offense at that time when he stepped right in. So he didn't really have to do a ton. Now he's actually grown and he's done a really, really good job. And let me tell you, they traded their stud tight end in the middle of that season. You know what I mean? That was a huge loss for them because Hockenson is a damn good player, bro.
The funny thing is, as soon as they traded Hockenson, obviously, number one, Hockenson was thriving in Minnesota, which rarely happens when a tight end is traded midseason. But they kept getting big games out of relatively random tight ends, right? Like Zylstra had a 2-touchdown game. Wright had a 2-touchdown game. They were like they built the whole red zone offense out of tight ends. And they had incredible success with it. So just a fun offense. I imagine they lose their coordinator because that offense was unbelievable with some weird pieces. And it probably regresses next year.
Dan Campbell's former position is?
Oh, tight end. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, that's a good call.
Okay. So not surprised that even the backups are guys that actually can produce for you because he probably has an eye for that position since that's what he ended up playing. All right. What do you got going on at Yahoo? What do you guys do now as we turn the page?
Yeah, we're actually we have a really interesting group feature coming out where we all just sort of give our top 12 for next season. So that's always, a lot of spicy takes there, a lot for people to talk about and digest with that one. And we're going to continue at least a couple times a week the Yahoo Fantasy Football Forecast. That is our pod. We're going to be doing, preview pods, review pods, all that throughout the playoffs.
All right, there you go. Follow him on Twitter at Andy Behrens. And go over to Yahoo Sports and follow them there as they carry you through the off season like we do here on the platform. Andy, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother.
You got it. There you go. Andy Behrens, Sports Grill. Yeah, 8 great locations now. We just added the Doral location of Sports Grill. So now it's 8 awesome locations, great food, great atmosphere. It's a great place to enjoy with friends and family members. So get on out there to all those locations. And remember, during the NFL and NCAA games, remember tonight we've got the national championship game going on, $1.50 Bud Light drafts and bottles. New cocktails, they added the cherry lemonade and the tailgate tea, only $5 during NCAA and NFL games. Take advantage tonight. Bone-in wings, 15% off. Buttermilk chicken sandwich, they added that now to the menu, and it is delicious. The buffalo tater tots. The hot sauces are available. Buffalo sauce, Miami Heat, blackberry, the Dale, the barbecue. They got it all for you. And today is Monday. The single smash burger, only $7 at Sports Grill.
You've been listening to the Sports Grill Fantasy Football Zone with Yahoo Sports' Andy Behrens. Go to sportsgrill.com to find a great location near you. Fantasy football fans, subscribe to the Big O Radio Show on YouTube and all other platforms to catch up with all our fantasy football insight provided by Scott Pianowski and Andy Behrens.
All right. Thank you all out there, as always, for keeping it locked here on the program. Remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And let's see. Ohio John says, love the duo of Wilkins and Sealer. Yep, I think I read those. I can only hope that the light goes on for Paul Soliai and for Raekwon Davis next season. I am with you, man. I hope so, too. That ends up happening, Ohio John. And thank you. Cash App or Venmo, that is Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. And remember, you can always make a donation, a Bitcoin donation, too, on the program. Let's see. Browns asked permission to interview Brian Flores for D.C. That makes sense. Bring him in for D.C. And then he'll screw over the head coach that's there and try to take over. So that's good. What else do we have? Aaron Rodgers played his last game in Green Bay. Maybe. I think he said he's going to wait for, a little bit of time here. He's going to make a quick decision because they've got the draft and all that. But you almost feel like he's kind of had enough and he's not coming back. I got game. No, it's Samuel Ross. Okay, you guys are talking to each other here. What else do we have here? Unfortunately, Lofi says we might get behind quick if Allen starts hot. Our secondary is butter. Yeah, that's how it goes. Mike says a helmet can protect against primary impact, but the whiplash, as in a vehicle collision, causes the secondary impact of your brain moving violently within the skull. Yep. I agree on that one. No doubt about that. All right. So yesterday, Gesicki played well, 4 for 46. It was good that they used him. I hope they use him in this game against the Bills. Definitely need it. Did you see Joe Flacco's son was wearing a Tyreek Hill jersey? I thought that was funny, dude. Oh, man. Flacco, the defense was able to get after him, man. He did make some plays, but they did a nice job of getting after his ass. I thought that was actually really, really cool that they were able to keep him off balance throughout the game. Even though they weren't getting the sacks, they still were pressuring him, which I thought that was actually cool. But Joe Flacco's son wearing a Tyreek Hill jersey. So apparently, I guess they do. I wonder if they live down here. I almost get that feeling that, Flacco is playing in New York, but maybe has a home down here. Like a lot of people have homes down here. Maybe his family and his kids live here, and he goes to school and the kids are like Dolphins fans and they follow Tyreek. Tyreek's that guy. It's cool for Tyreek. And I hope I think he does. I think he appreciates this. I think he notices this, but he's a guy that kids will gravitate to because he's a fun guy. he's not just a great player. He's always got a smile on his face. He's cracking jokes. He's fun to follow on all the social media accounts. He's always doing some fun stuff. He's you'll see him at his own store acting like a mannequin and surprising people. There's a lot of things about Tyreek that's and in a way he's kind of like a cartoon because he's so unreal, his athleticism, that it just seems like this guy can't be real. He's a cartoon or something. Does he really move that fast? That kind of stuff. And then he's colorful, right? The stuff he's wearing, glasses, all that. So kids, you could tell, would gravitate to a guy like that. And I could see where Joe Flacco's kids would love Tyreek Hill. Likeable dude. There's no doubt about it. Got one of those, infectious attitudes, and I hope he's all right because I know he got banged up yesterday. He's cracked at Fortnite. What does that mean? That he plays a lot of Fortnite? Flacco, yeah, he got a lot of money. Flacco gambled on himself, dude, and it paid. He took the team to a Super Bowl and he played his ass off. 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, in a perfect playoff run. And his offense carried the Ravens. The defense was mediocre, was average. It wasn't like the early 2000s when the defense carried the team. That was the strange thing about that Ravens team. That defense wasn't that good. Because some people I still always hear like, oh, well, yeah, Ray Lewis and the guys. They didn't. Joe Flacco and the offense carried Ray Lewis and the guys. That was the impressive part. So he gambled on himself, and then they had to pay him the $20 million a year, and he made his money. God bless him, man. That's how it goes. Good for him. Let's see. Big O, Tyreek signed the kid's jersey. Oh, see what I mean? Tyreek's that dude, bro. I think he gets that. It's a huge responsibility because it's not like kids gravitate to every athlete. There has to be something about you that, and Tyreek has a laundry list of things that kids are going to like. Okay. It's not just his play. It's the person, the character, the personality. And I'm glad that he appreciates that. Let's see. In basketball, Jones says, if New England can hang in Buffalo under those circumstances, Miami has a shot. Unlikely, but still a shot nonetheless. Well, if Tua plays, okay? Make sure you put that caveat to all of that, okay? If he doesn't play, they have no shot. Let's be honest. All right, he's ready to go. All right. Let's turn the page. Let's talk a little basketball. Last night was a little frustrating as the Heat got jobbed against the Brooklyn Nets. Let's talk to Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right, Ira. How you doing? You doing all right? Hanging in there?
Yeah, it last night was a mixture of emotions because Big O, it was a loss, and I thought it was one of their best games of the season.
I know.
But now I'm dealing with another freaking injury concern in Bam Adebayo. And a matter of fact, I was just talking to Anthony.
Tyler?
I'm sorry.
How about Tyler?
Tyler's fine. He just slipped. He just had one of those, the cord gets slick and you fall. Now, you never know with the knee when it's wrapped after, but he said it was just a slip. It wasn't a contact injury. Bam's hand is a concern. I mean, I don't know if you saw the replay of the dunk. It was as ferocious as you can see. And I was just talking to Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald. Last year with Omar Yurtseven available, the Heat were able to stay afloat when Bam missed 7 weeks. They don't have that this year. They have Dwayne Dedmon. They have Orlando Robinson. They don't have anything close. Omar Yurtseven was a revelation.
And by the way, you're losing a different Bam now. Okay?
A better Bam.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is a different Bam that you're losing. You're losing a real franchise Bam now. You're not losing just a defensive role player facilitator. No. You're losing the anchor now, which that really sucks. And last night, I admire the crap out of Jimmy Butler because he made no excuses.
Right.
When you guys asked him yesterday in the locker room. And in a way, you can't make an excuse. You know why? The prior possession, you missed a bunny in the paint. And so you had the easier shot there, and you didn't make that one. And then you come down, and the referee swallows the whistle. Royce O'Neal clearly bodied his ass. And and by the way, I'm kind of surprised he still didn't make the shot because that's normally a shot that Jimmy can make because he plays through traffic, which is really difficult in the NBA. Yet he's able to thrive in those kind of situations. So I didn't have nearly as much sympathy as I normally would because of the play prior to that, but I still felt bad for him because he should have gone to the line, and they just swallowed the whistle on that.
I got to tell you, Big O, you and I have spoken about this not only in our Accurate Pembroke Pines reports this season, but for years. There is nothing worse than when your team is within one and you settle for the jumper. You can't get to the foul line. You make it harder. It's a hero play. We have both talked about this with Tyler and Jimmy shots. Dwayne Wade for years frustrated. That was the only aspect of Dwayne that frustrated
Kyrie last night.
But I'm just saying, Kyrie settled for the jumper. Dwayne settled for jumpers. So give Jimmy credit. He took a play that had 2 of 3 possible good outcomes. Either he's going to make the shot, he's going to get to the foul line, or he's going to miss. But he increased his odds. I have no issue with that. The bigger issue I have is the offensive rebound on the play before when Royce O'Neal got it and put it back up there. And again, this goes back to the ongoing thing. I agree with Eric Spoelstra. That ball was on the ground, went between legs. It was like a rugby scrum when you're putting the ball back in play. But when your team is undersized, that's where you get in trouble. That's where it hurts. That's where Big O endlessly, ceaselessly, an Accurate Pembroke Pines report says this team is too short. It needs another big man. And you can see it right now. And especially if Bam misses time, because Dwayne Dedmon's not an answer this season. And Orlando Robinson is an unathletic, hardworking SOB who has his two-way G League limitations.
Right, exactly. He can only be elevated a certain amount of times, right? Is that what it is? How many does he have left?
He has 20 games he can be on the roster. That'll get you to the trading deadline. But he's a nice player. But he's not an NBA-level starter. He's probably not, God bless you, Orlando Robinson, at this point an NBA-level full-time backup. He's a guy who's learning the game on this level, who went undrafted. Again, we have this problem. You got 4 guys out for at least a month. You have Udonis Haslem on the roster. God bless him. Might help in that rebounding situation, but he doesn't play, and you don't want to pay the luxury tax. So you are giving your coaching staff and your 2 veterans in Jimmy and Kyle a really hard hand to play in the competitive Eastern Conference with so much working against them. Do the Miami Heat bend now? Remember, I might not be the biggest Tristan Thompson fan, but he would help right now. I might not be the biggest DeMarcus Cousins fan, but he would help right now. I'm not sure I'm willing to. You know what? He's a big body. I'm not sure I want to go to Hassan Whiteside, so I'll stop our conversation right here. But what I'm saying is, you need to be a little bit bigger, because I think we'll find out later today. I think Bam's going to miss at least a week, and I think he should between the thigh injury and the hand injury. It's going to be a very tough road to hoe. Tomorrow the Thunder come in, they score a crap load of points. You're going to have to match that. And then Milwaukee on Thursday and Saturday. You play Milwaukee without Bam, it's like Giannis is going, I could see another 50-burger.
So are you talking about a fill-in player that doesn't affect the cap, or
no such thing?
They actually make a move to add that 15 player that would affect the cap?
Yeah, I'm saying there is no such move, honestly, Big O, that doesn't affect the luxury tax for this reason. Each 10-day contract, which is a great field to be in, pays $100,000 for 10 days' work in the NBA. The NBA daily rate is $10,000. It's a good job if you can get it. Yeah. So once the Heat do 2 10-day contracts, all of their remaining space below the tax is gone. So if they make a move, it's going to be, okay, we're going to have to be a taxpayer. The only other move I can foresee is this, is you trade Dwayne Dedmon to another team just to offload that salary, send money with him to cover his salary, and then you could open a couple of $1 million, bring in a full-time minimum player. They could wind up doing something like that. I know you might shake your head again about Tristan Thompson, but he would have gotten that rebound that Royce O'Neal got. He would at least give you a big body. He gives you something that you need right now. And again, You know what the perfect answer here is, Big O? If Omar Yurtseven was available, it would be the same as last January, but he's not. He only started walking in the past week or so. He's wearing a brace that still goes, a temporary brace that goes from his foot to his knee. So he's not running on the court anytime soon, and that's just a shame. Jovic would be nice to have around. He's out a month with the back spasms. Udonis Haslem of 10 years ago would be good to have around. He's not the same player. Eric Spoelstra really is playing with a short deck. He really is.
Now, you do realize that if you sign Tristan, the Kardashians come with it, right? I mean, that's kind of, so you're going to have to interview Chloe every once in a while or something.
And you know what? Full cycle, because we already had Lamar Odom and we had Courtney, so we're just going to go full cycle with the Kardashians. Maybe it's just destiny, Big O.
Okay. All right. I just kind of get the feeling you just want the Kardashians in the house or something. I don't know.
I need more intrigue clearly in my Heat coverage life.
All right. So what is the light at the end of the tunnel right now? Because I'm almost wondering, what is this team?
I think
you know what I mean?
Light at the end of the tunnel is what's growing. Think
right.
about
It's
this,
development. Okay.
Okay,
All
we've
right.
seen Bam Adebayo, like you mentioned. You've mentioned all season. You've been very fair with Bam for all your criticism before, that he's really emerging into something very special on both ends of the court. He's a son of a bitch in that lane that they need around the dotted area. He's growing.
Yeah.
I think you and I both had doubts of Tyler Hero as starter, that he might not have enough there, but his offensive game is so special, it almost compensates for his defensive game. You'd agree, Tyler, between last year's six-man award and this year is going in the nice direction, okay?
Yes.
Number three, and we both mentioned this, we both had our doubts. Victor Oladipo is a real player. Victor Oladipo is a thing.
I need to see it for a couple of weeks.
That's fine.
I need,
you know what?
like remember what I've been mentioning to you so far, right? I've been mentioning to you the 30 minutes. That's what I've constantly been mentioning to you, because first of all, I need to see if his body holds up. So when his body holds up, then we can then find out, okay, how much magic can Victor Oladipo recapture right now?
Right.
And boy, the other night was a lot of fun.
And you know what? The first thing you said to me when we started this season, Ira, I need to see it in more than one game. Well, he did it in Phoenix. He did it again last night. Next thing you said to me is, Ira, I need to see it for at least a week. We saw it on the West Coast trip. Now you might be saying, Ira, I need to see it for the rest of the month. And it's going to be very interesting, Big O. I'm going to throw this at you, and I'll throw it.
We're good. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to throw it to Kurt Heelan on redrecover.com Inside the Paint on Wednesday. So Vic is playing well now. Very well. Both ends of the court. Vic is continuing and showing that he has that in his legs. So Big O, there's two deadlines coming up. On January 15th, Victor Oladipo becomes trade eligible for the first time this season. Then you have the February 9th trading deadline. Here's my question to you, and I want you to think this over. We'll talk about it Friday on our Pembroke Pines Accurate Pembroke Pines report also, is this. Where is Victor Oladipo now more valuable? As a member of your roster or as a trade asset? And that's interesting, and I'm going to say why before you chime in here. As someone on your roster, he clearly is valuable. He's a terrific sixth man. But what if I can trade him for a power forward that you desperately need? Would that sway you a little? So I think Vic has us thinking in both directions. As a keeper, someone who's going to help this year's team, or maybe finally, when you and I talk and you always go to me, Ira, what the hell did they have to trade? Maybe you do have something to trade now.
Okay, you're right. You could do that, but then you lose your fire off the bench. And so we've been talking about that. We've been talking about the whole Tyler thing. Oh, well, why don't we Ginobili his ass and move him to the bench? And yet Tyler is like, F you guys, you're not Ginobiling me. Watch, I'm going to do more. It's like, okay, you got to keep me here. Okay, so now we've been waiting for Oladipo. So now Oladipo might be showing up now to give you that juice off the bench.
Right.
Why do I have to trade that? Because I'm almost like it's addition by subtraction.
But you don't have a power forward. So which is going to take you further this year, number one. And number two, if you then get a power forward, a starting level power forward, okay?
Ooh, that's the other thing.
I don't think Victor Oladipo is enough for John Collins because Atlanta has too many guards. So you're going to have to go multi-direction. I think Harrison Barnes, the way he's playing now in Sacramento, I don't think they're making a trade. I would love Lauri Markkanen, but I know that's not happening also. Kelly Olynyk might be. Here's my point to you about the big picture. because I'm not going to go through every NBA power forward. I want to say this. If you trade Victor Oladipo for a starting power forward, you're then getting the spark of Caleb Martin back on your bench. So there is a rolling factor there. I'm not saying he's a sixth man like Vic, but you remember last year, Caleb Martin is a sixth man, hitting threes, energizing defender.
Yeah, I love
He can
Caleb.
do that also. So I
Yeah.
think the Heat have things to think about right now. So God bless Vic for what he's done. You know what? He told us for weeks and for months, I'm going to get back. And people like Orlando Alzagari and Ira Winderman had their doubts. He's looked very good. He's contributed, and God bless him. As much as we might have questioned his approach on the time off, it seems to be paying off right now.
Okay, they do have a first rounder.
Correct.
Can I keep my Oladipo and use my first rounder to go trade for a disgruntled power forward that isn't getting enough playing time? Is there some name out there that that the team has a surplus?
Well,
and
even I mentioned Kelly, who played very well with Bam Adebayo. Remember, when they went to the NBA Finals that year, they were a really good combination. You'd have to throw a salary in there. So here's the other part of the equation. I know there's been this call out there, and I'm finding it hard to disagree about, you got to move off Kyle Lowry. He just hasn't been the guy. He's your tradable salary, not Tyler's, someone else's.
Not till next year. No,
Well, okay. And that's my question to you, Orlando Alzagari. Let's say we move Kyle Lowry out of the Heat equation for whatever reason. Just humor me with this, okay? If you're listening on the podcast, Big O's raising his hands in the championship cheer. Yes. But how would you play point guard then?
I got to go with Gabe. I have no choice. I got to go Gabe, Tyler, Jimmy.
So and that's fine. And then if you have Gabe starting, who's your point guard off the bench?
Well, Depot can do a little bit of that.
And that's fine. And that's fine if you think you can get it that way.
I can keep Tyler in there a little bit with him too.
And Jimmy handles. Bam is healthy, he handles. So what I'm saying is every move has a secondary impact you have to think of. So for all these people, trade Kyle's ass. Okay, but just give me a plan, people, of how you want to go from point A to point B and C the same. Same thing with power forward. Same thing with Victor Oladipo. Maybe you can just move Dwayne Dedmon and money for someone else, and then someone will immediately cut Dwayne Dedmon. You know what? When we talk about the Heat's real disappointments of the season, I don't think Kyle's in that level. I think we wanted more from Kyle, but I wouldn't put him at the level where he's failed the Heat with his play because he's had some moments. I think Dwayne Dedmon has. I think Dedmon's a little
million, Ira. It's $30 million you're paying that guy.
And he still gives you top 20 point guard moments. I'm not saying that's what you're paying for at that price point, but I'm saying that's what you're getting.
Yeah, I need a horse. If I'm paying you $30 million, I need you to be a horse. You got to be Bam. You got to be Tyler. You got to be Jimmy. Those are your horses right now.
And you knew that when you signed a guy at 36. You knew what you were getting. You thought happy Jimmy Butler, happy life. Isn't that a saying somewhere? I think that's what they were thinking.
Yeah. All right. What do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel? The boys will take on OKC tomorrow.
First of all, I brought my Ask Ira about, is there a backup plan behind Bam? I don't think there is. We'll find out later today how long he's out. Wrote a story about the Heat at midseason and how there's still this optimism. And the one thing I'll give the Heat credit, they keep saying they're going to find a way. They point to the Nets. Some guys have pointed to the Celtics last season. Hey, give us the second half of the season. And this team historically has been much better over second half of the seasons. Big O, you were with us during the 11-30 start, the 30-11 finish. Give Eric Spoelstra credit. When he figures it all out, the mad scientist, in his beautiful mind kind of way, there are better second halves. I wrote about that. I am very curious when the NBA last 2-minute report comes out this afternoon. Was Jimmy Butler fouled? We'll be looking into that. And then at about 5:30, we're going to see the injury report. I think Bam is definitely out tomorrow, but it would not shock me for the Heat to list him as doubtful and then maybe move him to out tomorrow amid the hope of maybe 24 hours makes that hand better. So we'll see. So there's a lot still coming later in the day. So I think it's going to be an interesting day for the Heat as everyone else looks to Dolphins land.
Yeah, and Bam's a tough sumbitch too.
Yes, so we will see.
He has a high threshold for pain, and he's proven that many times already in the past, playing injured. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. More importantly, please subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel and support Ira and all the fantastic writers there. He'll be back on Wednesday from 9 to 10 with our redrecover.com Inside the Paint show, where, by the way, you can get 50% off right now. Take advantage at redrecover.com.
Ira, as always, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
Join you on Wednesday for the Inside the Oladipo Hour. Thank you, Big O.
You got it. There you go. Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CS, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
There we go. By the way, Barry Jackson's reporting that Tua ended yesterday still in the first 3 steps of concussion protocol. Unclear when 3 doctors will allow him to move to step 4 and then potentially step 5. Any player must clear all 5 steps to be allowed to play. McDaniel will address Tua later today. And if Tua is cleared for step 4, non-contact practice, stuff, drills, throwing, doctors must be certain he shows no symptoms to be moved to stage 5. Then he must be fine after 5 to exit protocol. Dolphins have declined to say if they'll definitely play Tua this season. Then he asks, Barry, why do some Fins fans on Twitter seem irked that Tua hasn't progressed more quickly through the protocol? If doctors thought he was healthy enough to do the on-field contact work, he would be. As for Teddy, he needs to be able to throw more than 15 or so yards to start if he's needed. Barry also puts, remember, Tua had memory issues and inability to recall things after the Green Bay concussion. Doctors are taking this very seriously to the point that they told the coaching staff that they should not discuss any topics that could cause him stress, such as when he might play again. So there you go. And then Dolphins discussed, but ultimately decided against creating and using special pass rush packages for him this year. Will be revisited in the summer. They tried having him spy Justin Fields, but gave up on him after a few plays. Oh, I guess they're talking about Channing Tindall on that one. So there you go. Okay. So some of you out there, let's see, what else do we have here on the chat board? All right. By the way, Gala Games is up 71%. I mean, I've spoken about Gala Games here many times over. Do not FOMO in now. Listen, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy that loves crypto, but it's up 71%. My last investment was at 1.6 cents. It's at 4.8. Yeah, that's 3 times the money. That's 3 times the investment there. I'm just saying, man. Bought it in the 2-cent range, bought it in the 3-cent range, bought a bunch of it. So, Gala is going to be a monster in the metaverse and in gaming. Okay. And why has Gala exploded? I mentioned it to you earlier. Oh, wait a minute. I think this is the wrong one. Let me get back to. Let me put the right one up. Put the wrong one up. Let me put the right one up. Here we go. Gala skyrockets nearly 60%, up to 70. Gala and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson collaboration. Following an announcement that it's working with U.S. actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Mark Wahlberg, Gala Games has seen the value of its crypto increase by almost 60% at one point today. As of 9:30 at 9 a.m. At 9 on the 9th of January, Gala was trading at 3.7 cents, up 57% from the previous day. Remember, I told you right now it's at 4.8. Okay? It's almost at 5 cents. Alongside the games platform, the Gala ecosystem features 2 other additional platforms, Gala Music and Gala Films. Former wrestler Dwayne Johnson has starred in yada, 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 and all that stuff. In the announcement shared on Twitter, Gala Films said it was happy to get the chance to work with them and said that they are 2 absolutely huge forces in the entertainment industry. Gala went on to say that it is believed their presence might be even more powerful off-screen compared with on-screen, Gala Films indicated. So they also detail what it believes may happen in the future regards to how the blockchain could penetrate the film industry. Gala developers said, imagine going to a movie and there's a QR code on your ticket to redeem a digital item. Imagine again, you're watching a film on Netflix and a QR code shows up. And there as well, there are just some of the use cases integration with our games and our music, and in another way, very exciting prospects. Would you like to add Hogsworth to your Voxers land? Voxverse, by the way, is Gala Games' home for its collectibles and non-fungible tokens. Avatar series, Vox, the Gala team, also announced the Gala Films will use Gala as its own gas token. But I've been knowing about Gala for a while and what they're doing with music and everything else, so I'm not surprised that this is coming. It's just a matter of time. You just got to give it some time for a lot of these projects that I've talked about to grow, And all you out there, you want to make fun of me and all that bullshit, that's fine. In a couple of years, I will have the last laugh. Those of you that, did your homework and invested in some of these projects, you will, the blockchain is the future internet, as I've explained to you. And Gala Games will be an island, a city. Cardano's a city. Bitcoin's a city. Ethereum's a city. Cosmos a city. VeChain's a city. Polkadot's a city. Solana's a city. And so then there'll be highways that are going to connect all of them to each other. And so you might watch a movie. You don't know it. You just type up Gala.io or whatever, and you're going to go see a Dwayne Johnson movie and put it up on your big screen at home, and you're going to be in the Gala Island, right? And then your kid wants to go play video games, and he's going to go over to Polygon, which is another island, and it's going to have all kinds of games and all kinds of NFTs or whatever. And then you've got to go pay the bills, and you've got to pay your Visa account. Well, then Visa will be with Polygon, I think, or Ethereum, one of the two. So then, and when you type it in on the internet, boom, you're going to go to the Ethereum city. And in the Ethereum city, you might have your dry cleaners there. You might have a car dealership. You might have whatever that you're paying, whatever. Oh, Craig Zinn's Hacker Pembroke Pines, I'm sending in my payment. Well, it might be tied to Ethereum. You don't know that, but these are the things that you can't comprehend because you don't understand what's coming. And all it is the upgraded internet, but it's secured. And that's the difference. And it protects the individual. It protects the companies. It protects their products a lot better than the internet that allows everything to be stolen. So it's just it's where we're going to end up. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw this. For those of you that, let me just kind of help you out here, just in case. I posted this. If you follow me on Twitter at Big O Show, I do this all the time. The IRS is already a comment on all this crypto stuff. And they came up with a very, very interesting comment. The IRS said crypto is here to stay. It's growing and becoming more legitimate every day. And we can work with it to actually, go after criminals. Because the misconception out there is that, oh, wait a minute, you can launder money and steal and do all that easier on crypto, which it's actually 1 billion times harder to get away with crimes on crypto than it is with cash. And that's the problem that people don't understand. But, this is kind of part of the game that we're in that people don't understand. And I want to find the article for you. I know I posted it a little back a couple days ago, so I'm looking for it now. But it's interesting how this whole thing, and you could tell by some of the stuff that was going on a couple months back with all the FUD that was out there, and little by little things are changing because the reality is setting in and people are like, okay, well, this is where we're going. I just want to find this article for you just so you can see, that the IRS is saying, crypto's here to stay. And we can use it as a weapon for us to protect the consumer. I'm just trying to find the damn article here if I can. Anyway. By the way, the Welton Rayom text line is 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Here you go. IRS official. You seeing it there? Crypto is here to stay and becoming more legitimate. Okay? Cryptocurrency is here to stay as far as I'm concerned. It isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and it's becoming more legitimate as the years roll on. It's becoming more sophisticated. And then when he explained that the IRS is looking to partner with crypto companies, my thought is those relationships will develop as the years go on and as the companies become more comfortable with dealing with the federal government. I don't see how we can operate in this space without it. And then he said IRS cooperating with partners with crypto firms. He says that's something that we were always working towards. That's always the end goal, to have the partnerships and to have relationships that isn't contentious, more symbiotic relationships. He believes partnering with federal agencies help crypto companies in their legitimacy. The IRS official added, there's a new industry for everybody. I think we're still trying to feel our way around it. The companies are feeling their way around it. There you go. And in November last year, IRS Criminal Investigations Chief Jim Lee said that the tax authority is building hundreds of crypto cases. So there you go. It's coming, man. It's just a matter of time before it all happens. Just like the other thing that just happened recently, which I expect Bitcoin in the next couple of months here to really explode. Not a financial advisor, just a guy that loves crypto. But here you go. BlackRock. Like, one of the biggest investment firms in the world just added Bitcoin to their $15 trillion global allocation fund. And why do you think? Because they know what's coming, dude. They know what's coming, but it's all right. It's all good in the hood. Those of you who don't want to believe, it's all good. By the way, Welton Rayom, if you happen to live in the South Florida area and you're looking for lawyers that can help you in bankruptcy, homeowner property damage that we lived through, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. And when we had our incident here at home where we had somebody drive through the wall of our house, the wife, if you're married, I'll take care of it. Let me call the lawyers. No, I'll take care. And this is the stupid part. I don't want you to be stupid like we were. And you can only argue so much with the wife. And then you got to just let them, make their mistakes on their own. So she called Progressive. And Progressive basically was trying to, steamroller. And they were offering about 15% of the damage that was done. So I said, enough. You're not doing it anymore. We're calling Welton Rayom. That's why Jeff and Dan are here. So when you have any of these issues, before you call the insurance company for a car, home, business, condo, whatever it is, you call them first. They have their own, what's it called? Damn it. Now I'm brain farting. They're adjusters. They have their own adjusters for all kinds of things. Home, car, condo, you name it, business. And they will come and they will tell you exactly what's wrong, what it's going to take. And we got 5 times what they were offering. By the way, they got the guy that was trying to bamboozle us fired because he screwed up legally a couple times too. So Jeff and Dan had them by the balls. And you want a real law firm that's going to bring them to their knees. I'm talking about these insurance companies because their adjusters work for them, not for you. You call Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. You can call and just with a consultation, you can find out just with a phone call, 954-966-4646. Welt and Rayom. All right. I think that we should sit to use the offseason to have him rest and put some meat on those bones, especially if he's going to hold on to the damn ball. He's not a skinny guy, my brother. I think you guys need to stand next to Tua. Dolphins should take should fake a heart injury, get game suspended to neutral site. Yeah, that's of course. Lofi says CBDC ultimate goal with central banks. BlackRock works with Coinbase. Yep. Central banks are going to be they're already getting into crypto. They're getting railroaded here. You know, decentralized financing is eliminating banks. I've told you for the last 2 years now that I've been talking about crypto, bank branches will be disappearing. You will see. Next 10 years, you're going to see bank branches disappear because as more and more of you understand crypto and get into it, you will understand you will be your own bank. So, you know, that's kind of the idea. You don't keep the stuff on exchanges. You keep it in your own cold wallets. Oh, if this year Fins was a U2 album, I would give it an October. October, and the trees are stripped bare of all they wear. What do I care? October, and kingdoms rise and kingdoms fall. Or the last 5 weeks, it could be The Drowning Man. Last 5 weeks before yesterday, they just tripped through the wire. No doubt. Not everyone believes Tua has a concussion. Yeah, well, I don't give a shit about you idiots. You're the same idiots that think, there was a fake election or something. You know what I mean? It's like, Fritter Foof. I mean, brother, your name is Fritter Foof. Think about that. So, yeah, I don't care if you don't think he has a concussion. I think you're an effing idiot if you think that. Just like I think if you think there was a rigged election, you're a king-size dumbass for believing another king-size dumbass. Okay? So, yeah, that's what I would say to all of that. Oh, are you still taking CBD oil for your back? No, I'm not, actually. I haven't taken it in forever. And I have bags of Samsonite. All right. Let's see. Big O, it's cervecita time and Hooter. Well, enjoy it, Pachanga. Tua Time says, Big O, are you still going to have a music show down the line? And Sean, when will Squared Circle Digest return? I think it's returning after next week, if I am correct. Sean, next week? Next week. And he's got a new look studio coming. Just saying. Will the new look studio be ready for the new show? Oh, wow. He's slacking. He's slacking big time. What do we have? Orlando Tua can get concussed in the wild card game, then he can get concussed in week 1. What's the difference? There's an enormous difference. If you get one now, when you have 4 within a short amount of time, it could be catastrophic and it could end your career. Because if you notice, Nelson, as we've explained before, that third concussion, if we count Buffalo as the first, the one against Green Bay was not a vicious tackle. And it happened. So it tells me that it's happening easier. So he will get concussed easier. That's not a good thing. So he needs time. Go look at Hal Habid's article he put up last week or the week before about Chris Nowinski. Go read that article, and you'll see what I'm talking about in the Palm Beach Post. All right, we're out of here. We thank Ira Winderman, Alan Poupart, Andy Behrens, Sean Stanley, as always, mastering this program. Thanks to everybody that sent in a super chat. Thank you if you sent in a Cash App or Venmo. Appreciate all of you out there. You can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Love you all.